podcast where three bearded film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor with Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-hosts, Mr.
Below you, Andy Conduit Turner. Hello.
Hello, and Mr.
Ben Errington.
Andy, I was going to say, I always have introduced the podcast as bearded film fans. Do you? I know you've got a beard, but do you feel pressured because you kind of came into the podcast like maybe a year or so? Do you feel like you have to now have a beard? Or,
I've got slightly less of a beard today. I've trimmed it down, but no, I
still counts though.
Yeah, I promise this was incidental to me being on the show. I didn't get off the first call and go and say, "Sorry, Karen, I've got to grow a beard now." It's become canon in the podcast. Yeah, but yeah, it's all good.
I've definitely looked back at old episodes, and you're completely clean shaven. But there was a period in time where you had a lot of beard going on.
Yeah, it was that first lockdown, right? Wasn't going anywhere. Got some nice conditioner and everything, but I'm a little bit short. got a little bit of a shorter trim on the go now.
Oh,
I mean, I think
got sick of it.
There's been times when me and Ben haven't had beards entirely. I think I've never been clean shaven since I was 15, but I think there's been times we've been stubbly rather than beardy.
I have been looking back at recent episodes for the 31 days of horror hangout thing that we're doing on socials. And there was one where you pretty much had no beard, and I think we questioned it immediately, and you had done a number one all over. That's not a piss. You've done a number one all over it.
The ass.
And there was another time where I'd shaved the whole sides of my face.
I remember that.
I had a little weird goatee thing.
Little Tony Stark beard.
I remember that. Yeah, I have dreams of that.
Was going on? You had dreams of that? Nightmares. Sleep paralysis demon was just my giant head.
It was a different
Elm Street, which is Ben's with Ben's sideburns.
Ben with a different beard.
Me with different beards, just a handlebar, Hitler.
Yeah. My friend Tipper, he's usually got a very big beard. I think one of my favorite stories of his is once, it wasn't even lockdown time, he's just prone to sometimes being stuck in the house and being bored. He had a great big bushy beard, and he decided to at one point shave it off. So he's just shaved half of it, and then he was telling me how he had a great time recreating early scenes from Oliver in the mirror, where he's clean shaven. Please, sir, I want some more. More. Turns around with his big beard on the other side.
And then somebody knocks on the door. There's an emergency. They're evacuating the whole street. You got to get out. There's a gas leak. Oh no! Let me finish shaving. No,
there's no time, sir. You've got to come out now.
There's no time, sir. And he's like,
okay. Come on, Oliver, get out.
That's good, but then the fun does end. I feel like when you do shave your beard off, it's fun. The act of doing it is pretty fun, I find. But that immediate regret that takes hold for somebody like me who's got no chin, and I think I've mentioned that before.
You've got a chin. I can see it right now.
No, it ends just there. It ends. It's completely flat.
Then you just got neck after that.
It looks like I've got no chin when I've shaved my beard off. When I look sideways, it sort of tapers into my neck like a turtle.
You're like a Frankfurter. You're completely clean shaven.
I don't like it.
One of those that comes in a tin in salty water.
In the brine.
Yeah.
Hot dogs in brine. Yeah. I look
so
just like that.
Do we have any horror news?
There's no way to move on from that.
There's no way to move on from it.
Horror news. Clean shaven face. Go on.
Clean shaven. So October is bashing out all the new movie trailers, isn't it? It's all happening. So the trailer for Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, Unleashed, a few days ago, maybe 4 days ago. We have done a reaction video to it, which was available early on Patreon. We'll talk about the Patreon because that's brand new. Available early on Patreon, but now, so it's Wednesday the 13th of October that this episode goes live. So the video should also be live. So have a look on the Hawk and Cleaver YouTube channel, and it'll be us watching the Resident Evil Raccoon. It's a fucking mouthful, isn't it? The Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City trailer and talking about it. I guess if you're not going to go and hunt that down, we are pretty confident that it looks all right, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
It looks fun. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, not necessarily good by traditional standards, but fun is what we're going to have with it.
It's not the Resident Evil movie we deserve, but it's the one we need right now.
Exactly.
Is that a butchering of that line?
No, that's fine. Acceptable.
That's fine. Acceptable.
I'll allow it.
I feel like that. Like a lot of people are saying the CGI looks a bit naff and it looks a bit cheesy and it looks low budget. I'm like, I honestly don't care. I feel like I just need a Resident Evil movie that looks like the games, sounds like the games, recreates moments from the games. I feel like that's what I need as a sort of palate cleanser for what the last, and yeah, it is about 20 years of Resident Evil movies for what the last 20 years have brought.
I think what I really want, I've thought about this, I've taken some time to reflect since we watched the trailer. Okay. And I think what I want is a stage musical. I think the acting would be perfect. Think of all the songs you could do. The Master of Unlocking.
Yeah.
Jill Sandwiches. Stop it, don't open that door. That's a Wesker song.
Stop it, don't open that door.
Songs Chris's
about mixing herbs.
Yeah.
You put the green with the blue and you get what you get.
See, I think there's a lot of potential
2 blues
there.
Together. You can. Poison. Yeah. I'd be all over that, Andy.
I love the musical. I like musicals in general. They did a Beetlejuice musical, didn't they?
I really want to go and see that.
They turned Sweeney Todd into one as well. So it's
he's a musical now.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one to do. Seeing as we only did a musical and you missed that episode, Luke, unfortunately.
What musical? Oh yeah, Rocky Horror. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should do Sweeney Todd.
We'll have to do some more. We'll do Sweeney Todd. We'll do a Little Shop of Horrors. We'll get some more musicals on.
Sweeney Todd so many times because it's a kind of a comfort movie for me and my fiance. Just when we don't know what to put on, Sweeney Todd. I just really like that film. I just like the songs. Who is a famous composer wrote those songs, right? I can't remember his name at the minute. Stephen Composeman.
Stephen Composeman.
Yeah. Stephen Composeman. Okay, but also in terms of trailers, is we're talking about a trailer from the past. Now we're about to talk about a trailer that's dropping in the future. But by the time this episode arrives, it will be in the past. So you'll also be able to go and see it.
We might be reacting to it as you listen.
We might be reacting to it immediately. It was just confusing for everyone involved. But, time is a flat circle after all. And so Scream 5 or just Scream, I don't know how you guys feel about it just being called Scream.
I don't mind it. I saw some backlash on Twitter. People were saying, why do you have to call horror movies the same name as they were called from like Candyman, Halloween, Scream, Scream? I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I don't get confused. I know exactly which one is which. I don't go to Candyman and think, which one is this?
Yeah, it's not like a new thing though, because Rob Zombie's Halloween did it, and
Well, you just called it Rob Zombie's Halloween because you have the ability to be able to differentiate. But I feel like it only is ever going to come to play in horror podcasts because they're not going to both be running at the cinema at the same time unless you're at the cinema in the distant future where all films are on all screens all the time. But literally, maybe it's confusing if you're writing it down, but I feel the people you're going to be talking to about these things are going to know to ask those differentiating questions. It's not as if you're going to be having a conversation with your nan and saying, "Oh, Nan, I've been to see Scream." What? 1993's classic Scream. No, like the new Scream. Surely you mean Scream 5, dear. No, Nan. I mean the new Scream. It's also called Scream, not to be confused with the original Scream. Oh, that sounds absolutely nonsense.
I'm kind of confused though, because the film industry think that, they're probably right, but they think that the British public are idiots. Sorry, that sounds mean. That's I'm not calling British public idiots, but some of them, sure. Because do you remember when Avengers was released in 2012? Yeah. The fact that they had to call it
thing though.
Was that illegal?
I think it's because Avengers is that John Steed original series. I think they called it Avengers Assemble for a legal reason, not just because we're stupid.
That seems weird though, because you can have things with the same names. Yeah. I'm sure there's been multiple films called War. I imagine.
Is it an infringement because it's also because they're close things? So an adventurous team also called the Avengers, and they also are in a film.
I feel it's more likely that they think the British public are idiots.
You
more
might
than other-
accidentally go to the cinema and watch a film from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't
It's
say
almost
which Avengers though.
But then
You
it's
didn't say
almost
which
like there's such a
Avengers.
small percentage of people in the world who would know what the Avengers with John
Yeah.
Steed and what's the other one called? The one Uma Thurman played in the film.
Emma Peel.
Peel. They'd know what that is and not know what the Avengers superhero team is, and also get confused thinking that there's a reboot of the film from like 1998 or something.
Yeah.
It wears his bloody hat and his umbrella. This is
It's
very
like-
disappointing.
There's 4 people in the world who would probably fall for that, and it feels like they've renamed the film just to satisfy those 4 people. 2 of them weren't even going to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't even know about cinemas. I told you
What?
they didn't. I was very confused. It was when Endgame came out, and I was at the cinema, and there was a man in front of me who, like, he was at a midnight showing of Endgame, but yet it didn't appear that he understood cinemas in the slightest.
What
do you mean?
Why is that? Yeah,
He was just, it was just like he was there with his it's something's happened now, and I don't remember it exactly. Obviously, it was midnight, and I then went to watch a film that was a breathtaking experience. But there was something that he was doing, or something that he said to the usher. He was the person in front of me, and I forget what the interaction was. But he completely
sit down and watch it then.
And it was like it was something about like going to the concession stand. Like he showed him his ticket and then was like, "Oh, so I've showed you I'm just going to go and get some popcorn." It's like, "Oh, you could have just gone and done that anyway."
How old was this gentleman or gentle lady?
He wasn't. He was older, but not old. But not old.
Said it
but
all.
not old. He was definitely older than me, but he wasn't old. He was like definitely younger than my parents, I would say.
Yeah. Well, other people should have more experience in general, so they should know exactly
how to work a cinema. But like, it was clearly like an alien thing to him. But he had come. I wouldn't mind if it was like, Sunday afternoon. He just thought, I quite fancy for that. But he cared enough about it that he was at a midnight showing.
Maybe he just locked himself out of his house and was cold.
Yeah. Oh, this place is
somewhere. Yeah. I think a lot of people misunderstand cinemas, though. A lot of people seem to, especially like after lockdown and stuff, people have come back to go into cinemas like it's as you mentioned, a completely alien concept to them. Yeah. What do I do in a cinema then? Well, basically, me and all my mates, we put our legs up and we all just have a good jolly old natter and laugh.
And then at the end of the film,
like karate chopping their legs.
Wasn't even horror. Or that wasn't even scary.
Yeah. I think what did I say? Oh, it was Malignant, wasn't it? And somebody said immediately as soon as the film, then they went, "Well, that was shit," but looked around as if they wanted everyone to go.
Yeah.
Finally, someone's brave enough. This is.
I mean, in that instance, I'd be like, "You're not right, but you're not wrong either."
You're not right.
Thrown a chair at him, just like in the film, across the room.
You're not wrong, but shut up. Oh, is us doing a podcast though? Are we the equivalent of that? Essentially, we're just shouting our opinions out into the world.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just a more refined version of, "Well, that was shit."
But you would have, to choose to listen to this. Like
D-. We're
not like we're not like a U2 album. We're not forcing ourselves onto your phone.
Well, that's the next thing.
You've got to choose to interact with that. But I think the whole forgetting how to use the cinema stuff, I can forgive that to a degrent. Like people making innocent mistakes, as long as they're not the annoying legs up people. But I found that
I don't think they exist anymore, do
they? I went to see the new James Bond, and there were like maybe 5 like 18, 19-year-old lads. But it seemed like they were all sharing one portion of nachos, and they were all acting like they're in an advert for nachos. They were all like,
"Oh, these nachos,
these are delicious! I can't believe it. Let me have a few more. Oh, don't hog the nachos!" Literally, I was like, "This is mental." This was like halfway through the film as well. I was just like,
they thought they'd been really excited, and they discovered they'd just been on the salsa. Then they opened the cheese dip.
Do you tell people in a cinema? Do you
so
tell people to shut up?
Not usually, but this was quite extreme. And my dad had already said, "Just watch the film, lads." He'd already said that to them because they were chatting earlier on, and then it got to this point where it was quite a tense moment of the film where a certain character, there was a bit of a standoff between two characters.
Did they not realize it was Daniel Craig's last about
Yeah,
James
did you
Bond.
not know? And
You're doing this again?
I couldn't focus. I honestly couldn't focus. Like I was getting frustrated. So I pulled out a classic. Have you never been to a fucking cinema before?
You put on
Say
a
it like
deep
that.
London
Have you ever
voice.
been to a fucking cinema before? And they turned around and they gave me a bit of lip, but then that was it. And then they shut up. No, they didn't. They didn't. I had to move. It's true.
Yeah, to me.
I just moved.
House.
Yeah. I thought I moved house.
yeah. I've moved to Bath, where
Where
people
are we
never
moving
go to
now?
the cinema
I
respectful.
can't go to that cinema anymore.
Oh,
So
what
anyway,
if what if those bad boys are there?
The bad boys are there.
Yeah,
Anyways, what was I saying?
About bad people at the cinema? I took the sensible and mature. The only time we've told anyone off at the cinema, I took the mature and sensible approach of waiting for Karen to get annoyed and telling them off on my behalf. So it was fine.
I like that.
I think I would have come off as the bad guy in that one because it was a couple of teenage girls. It was this was years ago now.
Oh yeah.
It was it was the life of Pi. It was Boxing Day. The cinema was absolutely packed. They were behind us, and like Karen just turned around and went, "You want to shut up?"
Yeah.
I had to. Cat's like, she's like an angry dog, like in the sense that as soon as anyone makes any noise, she has no qualms about like just. I kind of have to hold her back most of the time. They're just eating.
Bite.
They're just eating flumps. They're very very quiet.
The quietest. Oh, God. But then I've got to tell you, like you get unreasonably the other way because like we arrived at the cinema once and then I felt unreasonably aggrieved because a man told us we hadn't done anything. So like as we got in, the film hadn't started, it was the trailers. We got in and like as we were sitting down, like Karen like slipped or something like that and she literally just like tapped this man's chair ever so slightly as we were sitting down once, and she's like, "Oh no!" And the guy turned and goes, "Excuse me, would you mind not kicking me?" And then I spent the entire film like glaring at this man. Turn around again, buddy. I'm not a violent or unreasonable person. So if you turn around again, I want you. Like I'm never going to do
two like bald spots in his hair
that
have been burnt out.
Because I'm not a fighty person in the slightest. But I kind of want you to worry ever so slightly that I am, and in a really petty way, it ruined the film for you. Like
you should have done a Xenomorph thing where you put your head slightly next to his, just into view, just into the peripherals, so he could just see you just there, drip a bit of acid saliva on his chair.
I like a glare very quietly.
I think a glare is underrated. Like sometimes I'll literally just turn all the way around to look directly at somebody. Like I wouldn't be looking at anybody else just so they know. And sometimes they don't know. And I'm like, what?
Put the torch on your phone and
when someone
literally
puts their
shout
feet
at them.
up next to your head and you're like, come on now. There's no need.
I'd just twisting the leg off.
Tap him on the shoulder, put your finger there. So when he turns around, finger right in the face.
Classic. Love that. Love that. And I go, oh, and you got a bit of nacho cheese. I say, hey,
wanker. I win.
Anyway, what was I saying?
Okay.
I was saying something about
basically people are awful.
Basically,
Scream. We were talking about Scream
20 minutes ago.
That could be the longest segue we've ever gone on. But
that,
it's because we're men of a certain age.
Passionate film goers.
We're in our 30s now, and we're passionate film goers. This stuff don't fly no more, especially when you want to watch films on opening night and it's rammed, and you go, all the bloody. I'm a film podcaster, right? I should get front row seat. No, I don't want that. I want to sit in the back. Anyway, so the Scream trailer will be out now, so you can go and watch it. There have been some images that have dropped as well as a poster, so we can see Sidney Prescott, Gail Weathers, Dewey. They're all coming back, as well as like new faces, new actors. I recognize a few of them. The dude from The Boys, the kid from The Thing, not The Thing, but A Thing.
Kid from The It.
Recognize him. I'm looking forward to the trailer. Hopefully it doesn't give too much away. I mean, I'm sure it won't, because there's only really one thing that it needs to give away, which is who the killer is, and I'm sure it won't do that. But yeah, I've also got tickets to the 25th anniversary of Scream, which is tomorrow, 12th of October. So yesterday, if you're listening. So yeah, that should be fun. And I've heard that possibly the trailer is going to be shown in front of that, but I don't know if they're going to do it in UK cinemas. It might just be like one or two places in the States, possibly. But I might see, and the trailer might even drop before I go, so I might watch it before. We shall see. But yeah, January that's coming out, so I'm assuming we're going to be doing an episode on that as well.
Yeah.
We've only done Scream 1, right? Maybe we should do a Scream 2 before then, or some kind of Scream sequel.
Now we're breaking the seal on sequels as of today.
Oh yeah, officially breaking that seal. Talking of remakes that are probably going to be called remakes or reboots that are probably just going to be called what the original were. We've got some news on Hellraiser as well. So Jamie Clayton has been cast as Pinhead. Clive Barker's producing as well, which should be nice. Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
I saw a bit of outrage about it being recast as a woman, but I mean, it doesn't make any sense, really. Pinhead's like a extra dimensional being known as like from the Order of the Gash, which is what they're called in the book.
Yeah. So really? Oh no, don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Oh no, Ben. Just been cancelled.
Oh, Ben.
Please don't. I'll pull myself back, you see.
What I'm just saying is like it could be either or in between for Pinhead, I feel like, or any of the Cenobites.
But also, it's not like any of the recent Hellraiser movies have gone, well, the role of Pinhead is definitive and always great and always hits home. It's not working, so let's change it up. Why not?
Yeah, do something different, do something like
if
good.
Doug Bradley was still up for it, then I'd say just get Doug Bradley back in, because he is great at it. He's like, you don't need to replace him. But I know what you mean. Since they've replaced Doug Bradley already with like two different people, and it's not really doing the job.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure that it's going to offer something different, visually, and in terms of the story, I'm sure there's going to be something else included. So
we good, and also like people wanted to like see the character and in themselves and so on. Like if you're relating to the character Pinhead, the torturous murder ghost, there's probably something wrong with you. Probably why you don't like women, I guess, in the first place, and would be pissed off that one has been cast in a film.
I just find like getting up in arms about fictional characters is a bit silly, because it's like it's fiction, and this is a new writer / director's take on that character, unless it's like, well, I don't know. I can't even think of an example where I would get annoyed by it, because I just think, whatever, isn't it? It's fiction. It's not like we're going, oh, we're making a film of a person, we're making a biopic of somebody, and we've decided that's like, it's still a take. I think there's a difference between who you're casting in the role and what you're doing with the character. So if for example, using like the new Captain America is coming out, like I don't care which member of that character's universe or whatever, or Hellraiser indeed, I don't care like what what categories the person who plays this character comes into. I would care if they fundamentally change the character in something that's beyond the realms of the stories. For example, now Pinhead is a cartoon cat, and what he's doing is he's trying to
eat lasagna, especially Garfield.
So he's trying to. He doesn't like Mondays.
I like it.
And there's also a dog. He's not the dog's really friendly but stupid, and he's trying to get him all the time. If they did that,
and he's Cockney. I feel like the interesting thing is Pinhead was never a big character in the original book. In the film, like he was, the Cenobites weren't the main story, like the Frank and Helen stuff was, and then Pinhead just became such an iconic figure very quickly that they kind of embellished and made more films based all around him instead. So I'd be interested to see if this remake, or whatever you call it, remake boot, is more around the actual story of Frank, and maybe the Cenobites play a less of a main role. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do with it,
or if it leans into it and it's just Pinhead for days.
It's all Pinhead.
Pinhead origins.
He's the protagonist.
Pinhead everywhere.
Yeah,
I think
starts off with Pinhead's waking up, tapping the alarm clock off.
Set with like working 9 to 5 in hell.
Oh man, if you were Pinhead, your pillows when you're sleeping would be ruined every day. You wouldn't get any nice ones.
Could never sleep on a waterbed.
No.
You shit a football. Edit, Pinhead, edit. Oh,
Oh,
no, ruined.
I'm just going to chest it down this time. All right. Yeah. Or maybe
set
like
about five aside. I would love to see that.
I've never.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Where would you? Maybe Pinhead. We've only ever seen him on the job, though. Maybe when he goes to bed, he takes them out, puts them in a little glass by his bed.
Yeah, maybe just goes
like false teeth.
Yeah.
I think when he's not, it's like a pufferfish. When he's not scared, they go in. It's only when he's scared or angry about something.
He's got like a really narrow head, like that shrunken head guy in Beetlejuice.
Or horny. He's pretty horny all the time. Isn't he? But that's all I've got for news. Considering I wouldn't dare mention anything else about news because this podcast would last forever. So
okay,
has anybody seen anything of note this week?
Yes, but I don't know if we're talking about it yet. VHS 94. We're doing a Patreon episode about it. So.
We're going to try and do it. Yeah, we're going to try and do a Patreon episode about it. I guess we could just mention it briefly. So this was released on Shudder like just a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And how many instances of VHS have there been? One, two.
This is the fourth one. There was VHS 1, VHS 2, VHS Viral.
I've missed that one. I've missed Viral.
I think I've missed Viral as well. Yeah.
Viral is not the best one. In fact, that's the one where a lot of people said they really shit the bed, and that's why they didn't make any for a little while. But it's got a couple of cool segments in it. It's got the guy who made the UFC Time Crimes. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Time Crimes.
Whoever made that, he does a segment that I really liked. But I like all the VHSs for various reasons. But I like, even when there's some bad stories in there, or like stuff that doesn't work that well, I just like that. I love that anthology vibe
it's the magic of an anthology film, right? Or anthology anything. Like you haven't got to vibe with everything because not one thing is all of the thing.
Yeah, and there's in this one there's a segment directed by I can't pronounce his name. It's Timo something. He directed The Night Comes for Us and an action film called Headshot. And I think he worked with Gareth Evans, who did the Raid movies, and he did the amazing segment from VHS 2 called Safe Haven. But there's we'll talk about it more in the Patreon episode. But I'll just say it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, there's a good couple in there. A couple better than others, but
there's one that I thought was pretty wild. Like in terms of, I don't think they had a massive budget for this, and they really went all out with some of the effects and props. I guess, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I've got it to watch this week, ready for us to record that one. I'm looking forward to it.
I did also watch. I think Ben, you saw this as well. No One Gets Out Alive, which is a new Adam Neville adaptation. Who wrote The Ritual, which was a pretty great film. I think we like that one. So No One Gets Out Alive. You've seen it, Andy?
No, not yet.
Okay, it kind of popped up on Netflix out of nowhere. The story is a kind of I can't remember now. A woman moves into a strange house in America, and I think she's an illegal immigrant potentially. Is that right, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's trying to sort of get herself situated, but she finds out that there's something going on in the house, creepy ghosts, and then a kind of a whole other thing happening.
There's like a man who runs the boarding house who's potentially a bit dodgy. He's got a weird brother as well. So yeah, she's basically trying to escape this place, like literally, but then also get sort of embroiled in a nightmare as well that she's also trying to escape. I guess I can't say loads about spoiling it, but there's some. If you liked creature design from The Ritual, which was freaky and unique, there's something that you might like in this film.
It definitely feels like maybe that's Adam Neville's thing. Like,
see, really I kind of thought that
good creature design.
Yeah,
I kind of thought that, but then I've not read the book it's based on, but I've heard that this particular thing from this film was created by the director, because in the book I think it's much more of a
suggested thing
I don't want to say much without ruin it because it's quite new, and I think people would enjoy it.
It's definitely worth watching if you're looking for cool new horror movies to watch in October. There's some good stuff. And I don't think it's a perfect film. I think I preferred The Ritual quite a bit more, but it's still good. Still worth a watch.
I enjoyed it. I just felt like it needed something more.
Yeah, it did feel like, I don't know, like there was missing a bit of an act or something. Like it feels like it. I don't know. It ends.
It was one of those films where you're like, oh, what's going to happen next? It's like, oh, I think this might be the end.
Yeah.
The only other thing I've seen, apart from those two things you mentioned, I watched the WWE special called Escape the Undertaker, which is interactive on Netflix.
Is it really? I didn't know that. Like a Bandersnatch thing.
Yeah, but I mean, the interactive elements are pretty much pointless. I think you get to a certain point, regardless of what it kind of is. Like
choke slammed,
and then you get bloody choke slammed again. You know, I mean, it's very silly. It's very PG horror. You know, very Goosebumps. But I like everyone involved. I like the Undertaker. I like the New Day as well, and it's entertaining to a degree. And I think if you've got even a passing interest in WWE, especially with like the cinematic matches that have happened over the last few years, which on the surface can appear very stupid, but some of them are quite like endearing. So, I mean, it's only like 30 minutes long. So
okay, might do it.
You can't like sort of get into it massively. But it was fun. I imagine, especially for younger audiences, you know, if there's like kids who watch who still enjoy wrestling, like my nephew's probably going to enjoy it. I've already recommended that he checks it out. So
cool. I might check that out. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I've always been an Undertaker fan. Always got time for him.
Oh yeah, there's some classic Undertaker stuff in there. There's like Paul Bearer clips.
Paul Bearer's in there.
Well, he's not alive. He's not with us, unfortunately, anymore.
I didn't know
that. He's there's clips of him, and there's some nice little Easter eggs and throwbacks to the classic WWE things, which, you know, you kind of need to be a fan to understand. But, you know, if you're not a fan, it's not going to change your experience of it.
He's hat Undertaker at the moment, right? Not motorcycle Undertaker. It's been a while.
Motorcycle Undertaker was pretty short-lived, to be fair, in the
grand scheme of the Undertaker.
In the grand scheme of things, it was great, but it was pretty short-lived. It was only a few years.
He died again or something, and then he was reborn. I mean, that's probably happened dozens of times. Yeah, there was definitely a period of time where I didn't watch it either, so I'm not 100% up to speed. He was a bit like Biker Undertaker when he had his last WrestleMania like cinematic match. The reason it was like that was because of COVID. He had a match like in a graveyard with AJ Styles, and he was a bit like, that was. He should be a playable character in Mortal Kombat. I feel like the Undertaker, he'd have two skins: Last Ride Undertaker and Dead Undertaker. I think he'd be a good one in there.
Definitely.
So one last thing I did watch. I don't know why I really wanted to watch like some modern action films that are kind of like on the B movie tier. Like, you know, when you like watch like Double Team with Jean-Claude Van Damme and I think that was two Jean-Claude Van Dammes, can't remember.
It's a knockoff.
Yeah. I watched Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning.
I thought it was going to be just the original Universal Soldier.
No, but
Day of Reckoning.
I may rewatch the original now. Day of Reckoning came out in 2012. It's got Jean-Claude Van Damme in it and Dolph Lundgren, which is amazing to see. They're not like the main character. The main character is played by Scott Adkins, who's the kind of modern day action badass guy.
Martial arts supreme dude, isn't he?
So this is like a strange. I think it's in the continuation of the Universal Soldier universe. There's a lot of stuff I didn't really understand. There's like people growing back fingers and foots and stuff. Is that part of the lore? I don't know. But like, purely for the action, is quite horror tinted. Like there's action horror, I would call it. And the fight scenes are brutal. Now Scott Adkins, he smashes a guy's head off with a baseball bat in. It's absolutely wonderful to see. Just if you want to see some modern day action violence, that's worth a watch.
Where did you? Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
I do enjoy
stuff
like that.
Is that it? Everyone's seen?
Andy?
I've still got 2 episodes of Midnight Mass left, but it's pretty good so far. And the reason I've still got 2 episodes of that left is that we, like the rest of the universe, blitzed Squid Game, which is great.
We're near the end now. We've got 2 more episodes left.
We'll talk about it when we finish them, when we all finish them all,
Yeah.
or at least any of us are going to watch them and finish them all.
I'm possibly 5 episodes in.
It's really good.
9.
9.
I know what you mean, by the way, Ben. You mentioned last week it's very Korean in the sense that it feels like every genre. Like it doesn't, like they have no qualms about being kind of funny or heartfelt, and then suddenly someone's fingers get popped in a
It's very Korean, and I think, as I mentioned last week, it's one of those things where you're like, obviously you want it to be popular, but in a way you're like, I like Korean cinema, and the whole world's on it, are they? Oh, great! Yeah.
The things I will say about it, that and more about the production than about how it is. One little tiny things, like when you notice it, and it's nothing about the story. You say it's very Korean, and so it should be because it's a Korean cast and crew. But just the little bits, the way people interact with each other, the way the characters are in the games. Karen and I were watching it, and it is so authentically what it is like, especially when they're out in the real world. Like we lived in Korea for like 18 months, and it is exactly as I remember, as well as when we lived there, like sitting outside the convenience store when the old man comes out to see him in like a really early episode.
It's like raining, like
that is exactly how it is. The rain comes down like that, and the stalls, like where the mother works, that you walked past these things on the way back from work, and it's what the apartment buildings were like, the little chimes when they go to his ex-wife's house. That's the noises it makes when you come into your house. Quite a lot of doors in apartment buildings just have key codes that you put in to get into your house, and then like this little sing-song lock opens and you can come inside, sitting outside the convenience store, having like a beer or something like that. It's really, really common. And it was nice. It was a nice memory to watch that. I've never seen anyone play any hideous games over there. But the other thing is as well, I think there's been a really great investment in this series in its localization. Like, I think if you look at less skillfully made things, I know you can have the choice of the subtitles or the dubbing. The dubbing was the default when we pressed it, and we didn't feel inclined to change it because it was fine. It's been really nicely done. They obviously have proper people who are capable of acting doing it, not just someone who's reading a translated script. And it feels like the script has been done in a way so it is, I think it has flow. It's clearly not a literal translation. It's been localized, so it still flows when translated into English as well. It's really, really quality stuff. I really enjoyed this series.
I think the thing that's really stood out to me is like the production design. I feel like everything from the bad guys' costumes and PlayStation control masks, and like even the colors. Everything seems to like just really pop. It's really well put together.
Remember how we spoke about Control, the production design in the game Control, like literally every tiny little detail you can recognize from that world. And I feel like that is what Squid Game has created. That like you look at everything and you're like, that is exactly how it should look. It doesn't feel.
You see people doing like fan art and stuff of the characters and drawing the pink clothes. What's it called? I just feel like everything pops and really like sticks in your memory, and
the costumes have come out just in time for Halloween.
I can imagine they'll be laughing all the way to though I saw a small article about apparently like the writer director, and apologies I don't have his name burned into my mind, but apparently lost like about 6 teeth through stress during the production.
Jesus. I heard he'd been trying to get it made for like a long time. He wrote the script.
So he probably just lost the teeth as we all do as we get older.
Yeah, he was about 6 when he started. His big one's coming in.
Yeah. These are my favorite games. Yeah. And he's just guzzling a giant
squash.
Bucket of squash there,
yeah. So
cool.
Apart from that, we've all watched this week's movie, which obviously a sequel. We haven't done many sequels on the show. I think Aliens and the subsequent films are the only ones possibly we've done, at least from like big name franchises and that. So to go back to this is pretty exciting. So, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, is a 1985 American supernatural slasher film. Directed by directed by Jack Sholder.
Yeah.
And written by David Chaskin. It stars Mark Patton. Initially, I was like, "What? Mike Patton from Faith No More? What's going on here?" So, a teenage boy is haunted in his dreams by a deceased child murderer, Freddy Krueger, who is out to possess him in order to continue his reign of terror in the real world.
Look, this is deceased child murderer.
He's deceased, Mike. Don't you know?
Yeah. So ratings, IMDb has it at 5.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, critic score is 41%. Audience score is 33%. Letterboxd average is 2.8. So it's not like held into it as sort of massively highly regarded, but it does have like kind of a cult following. The Rotten Tomatoes, I can't recall now, the critics' consensus. An intriguing subtext of repressed sexuality gives Freddy's Revenge some texture, but the nightmare loses its edge in a sequel that lacks convincing performances or memorable scares. It does have a memorable dance scene there, which we'll get to.
Seen in the movie, if not the decade.
Yeah. A couple of choice letterbox reviews here kind of points out kind of the main talking point, I guess, about this film. The first one is from Amaya. She put, "Why do straight people think this is homophobic? Let us enjoy a funky gay horror movie. I just want to see Fruity Krueger do his silly little murders." 4 out of 5. And then the next one,
Fruity Krueger,
yeah. The next one from Dirk Cates, but this is one of the most violent and subversive attacks and condemnations of homosexuality. 2 stars. So 2 very different opinions. I guess the film, I don't know. I mean, I knew there was talk and there's a whole documentary about this aspect of the film, but I didn't realize there was some people who thought it was an attack on homophobia and some people who see it as a celebration of homosexuality is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting.
It's one of those things that if you weren't aware of it going into it, it's very, I mean, it completely depends, you know. You could watch this and think it's very heavy-handed with it, and in other ways it's really not. It's quite the opposite. I mean, I kind of feel like it's quite the opposite. It's kind of like
the director said it doesn't. He said there was no intention, right?
I went back and I watched the section of the Never Sleep Again documentary just before we got on. I didn't have time to watch all of it, but I heard a statement, I forget if it was the director or one of the other production crew, saying like, at the time, they never intended for it to be taken. It was meant to be a subtext about, he said there was meant to be a subtext of, for the time it was, a lot of people kind of coming to terms with their sexuality and working out what that was and how they wanted to go about that for the time it was. But he said it was meant to be a subtext, and then our lead actor here, so Patton, not Mike Patton, was there saying, I think he's an openly gay actor. That's what one of the people in the production part was saying there. But like he said, like, come on now, if there's loads of teenagers on like forums and someone saying, oh, this is the gay Nightmare on Elm Street movie, then there is no way, if loads of teenagers are on like boards saying that about it, then there is no way that a group of grown adults making that movie didn't realize that's what we were making. But yeah, it's interesting that you say about the different takes. There are some people that find it an attack and something that's quite an offensive take on it, I guess, or as a negative spin on it, and other people find it like a celebration almost. I believe this is the only Nightmare on Elm Street movie with a male lead, right? Like as the main character.
Yeah. Also, he's supposed to be the first male Scream Queen. I think he got that title from somewhere.
He's got quite a scream on him as Jesse.
He does.
Oh my god, yeah. Are we supposed to believe then that the sort of sexual tension is between Freddy and Jesse? Is that what we're saying?
No, I don't think. I thought Grady.
Yeah, I thought Grady as well, because I'm literally just reading now some stuff that the actor has said, and he's talking about the first encounter. The first encounter between Jesse and Freddy is loaded with sexual tension, according to Patton. And what ended up on screen was actually a toned down version of what the scene almost was. I can, if that's the case, I can understand why some people may find it as an attack on that. Because
I guess if that's what you're seeing. Sorry, Ben, you go.
I think it's because his relationship with Freddy is definitely one that he's trying to sort of repress. I guess he's trying to sort of keep it hidden. It's almost like a horrible thing that wants to come out. So if there are sort of undercurrents to that, and in terms of sexuality, I can understand why some people might misconstrue it at that. I didn't quite get that. I kind of thought that in terms of the sexual tension was between him and the friend.
There's sometimes though, so you're saying in that instance, they're kind of vilifying the homosexuality, but sometimes I feel like working class people make horror movies about working class people being the bad guys. That's always been the case, where people tend to, they kind of take whatever their group is to the extreme, to kind of point out the ludicrous nature of that being something with, like, to be scared of. It's a weird. It's really weird.
Maybe it was a difficult time to be homosexual, and also to be like an adolescent as well, because obviously in the 1980s with the AIDS epidemic and everything like that, so you can completely understand why at the time potentially there could have been some conversation to have been had surrounding that. But I think it's best to listen to whoever made the film, and I guess also is it Mike Patton? His experience, as you said,
Mark, not Mike.
Mark Patton, as an openly gay actor who, like, this is his definitive role. I think if we listen to him and what he thinks the role is, and what, then I think that's probably the definitive.
Yeah, because he could choose how he wants to portray it. Yeah, I can see both sides. It depends what you take the struggle as, and what metaphors you place on it as a viewer. I get it.
Well, there is obviously a scene in a gay bar as well, and obviously an openly gay teacher who gets his ass whipped to
gets horseplayed to death.
Yeah, so I mean, there's probably loads of subtext, but it's one of those things where is looking into the subtext too much taken away from what is essentially a cheesy 80s slasher.
Exactly. You're putting an awful lot of emotional and like metaphorical weight into an 80s slasher horror sequel.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So who else we got in this film? So Mark Patton, and obviously, what's his flavor? It's Freddy.
Rob Englund.
Yeah.
Rob Englund is Freddy. Kim Myers, who isn't Meryl Streep, which is baffling. I was just like, wait a minute. Obviously not, but at the same time, what? I like how
Lisa.
Yeah, so she's Lisa. And then Rob Rusler is Ron Grady, who starts out as you think is like a bully to Jesse.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like they hate each other at the start.
Yeah, like enemies. He's like the classic Gary Oak character. He's always getting one over on Jesse. He's like,
and then there's obviously Jesse's mum and dad as well, Ken Walsh and Hope Lange. I think she's quite a
Hope Lange. I was thinking about that. She thinks she's related to Jessica Lange.
Good question. It is a good question, but one I do not know the answer to. Don't know. So yeah, who else have we got? That's kind of it, really, isn't it? It's
not a huge cast, and there's not. We'll come to it. Like, I guess the body count is higher in this one than the original. That's only because he murders about 10 people at a pool party a bit later on.
Oh yeah,
it's quite a contained movie. It doesn't have the build-up of the dread of loads of small nightmare kills, really, that we had in the original.
Because it's almost like the sleep thing has kind of been, it's kind of like pushed aside a little bit, isn't it? It's only really one character now who needs to trying not to sleep.
Thematically, it hasn't really found its angle yet, I guess, in this one. So this one is a very different movie to the first one, which had a lot of the sleep deprivation, and no one should really go to sleep for fear of getting Freddied. Whereas now it's just kind of Jesse and this thing that's going to take over his body.
Do you feel like it's like nowhere near as scary as the first one or the third? Like, I feel like, although I do remember being quite scared of the opening gambit with the bus driver bit, but I don't know, it feels like because it's not dream based, or they haven't used a lot of that dream logic, like that's what really scares me about Freddy, or I think is quite like potent, is the kind of, you fall asleep and then like you're in his world and he can kind of like do whatever he wants.
You can do whatever he wants in there.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure about. Obviously, is this the first possession based, and is it the only possession based Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
You could argue maybe 5 with the Dream Child, where he's kind of possessing an unborn baby to a degree, but yeah, properly, this is the main possession-based one.
And when Jesse is possessed by Freddy, do people see Jesse or are they seeing Freddy?
It's never entirely clear. Well, I mean, it looks like with the coach in particular, he becomes Freddy in that scene when he does his "Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Freddy Krueger," and he steps out of the mist and he's got his hat and everything.
Sorry.
Stars in your eyes there for our American listeners. A show in which people told a man called Matthew that they were going to be someone else. Never, as far as I'm aware, Freddy Krueger.
Never Freddy Krueger, which is disappointing. But yeah, I wasn't entirely sure about that. I kept thinking, or maybe we'll see in a second, a reflection where it just looks like him with the glove on. But we didn't
get that. There is a bit where he's looking in the mirror, and Freddy's looking back, but they're not like matching movements.
But he's like taunting him. Freddy's giving him the old Dennis Nedry.
Freddy's an interesting character because he's extremely goofy. Like, he is quite scary as well, but he's one of, when you think of iconic horror creatures or people from that time, who have we got? Michael, Jason, Freddy,
Chucky, Jason, Freddy,
Chucky
Leatherface.
Yeah, Leatherface.
Chucky can be a bit mouthy, but like Freddy, I know obviously the dream thing is where he gets, where he wins essentially, because the dream logic. Just a little scrawny bloke, isn't he? Really, in a weird jumper.
Got knife hands, and the knife hands are pretty deadly.
The knives in this film don't even look that sharp. Even close up, I was like, would that hurt? Yeah. They look also hella blunt.
I was going to say they don't seem to go in, but they do, because they go through Grady's stomach and the door. So they must be pretty sharp, and they kind of drag down. I mean, they're supernaturally sharp, I imagine.
Yeah. The sharpest there is.
Yeah.
So this film starts with, so it's like 5 years after Freddy Krueger's apparent defeat, and a new family has moved into Nancy Thompson's former home.
Well, before that, we get my favorite bit of the film, which is the bus.
It's a nice
the bus. What have I completely forgot about?
It's a weird opening, like a cold opening. It's
cold open.
I think I didn't even realize. I think it's Mark Patton as this guy, kind of a nerdy, emo-y looking version of himself.
Yeah.
In the back of a bus, people get off the bus. I mean, I clocked it as Robert Englund as the bus driver.
Yeah, as soon as he gets on, he's a very
iconic looking person.
Yeah.
And then the bus doesn't stop. I don't know why I really like this opening. Like, the bus just gets faster and faster. It like shoots off the side of the road into the desert. Starts bouncing up and down like crazy.
And then it's nighttime. Pretty much
they're in hell. The ground opens up.
And it becomes a custom Freddy bus, right? Yeah. It's got like a Freddy logo on the front.
This is what I love about Nightmare on Elm Street. That stuff, that kind of weird logic. I also like when it becomes otherworldly. Like, that's what I find quite palpable about the franchise.
I mean, say what you will, there is no horror boogeyman character that has the branding and marketing chops that Freddy has. Maybe the Leprechaun comes close, but he's got years of heritage on his side. The Irish Tourism Board are doing a lot of that work for him. But Freddy, he'll put a logo on things. He'll get a color scheme. He's a marketer's dream.
Yeah. He
He's
sticks
all
his
over it.
face on everything, or
He's
out
got
of
brand
everything.
guidelines initially. So have a look at me brand guidelines first.
Look at my color wheel.
Look at my color
It's
wheel.
just
This
brown and red.
Yep. These are my these are my CMYK numbers. This is what we need.
So
yeah,
then
he's
it,
probably
then
got his
it's,
own fonts.
Yeah,
He's definitely got his own font.
the fonts are very interesting in the opening titles. The Freddy's Revenge. I'm pretty sure that's the Terminator font. It's like shining metal. At
Yeah.
the front.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird. I always find that strange when films like in the opening credits have got a different font to like all of the marketing and like it's almost like that must have been done in a completely different meeting to.
He's weird because I bet back then it wasn't as a case of just dragging and dropping some text over the top. Like they had to kind of burn it into the
burn it into the celluloid.
Yeah.
Someone was in front of the camera holding that up.
That's not the same as what's on the VHS.
It's too late now. It's too late. So you're right. They're in in hell.
Films has one of these. I can't remember what film has the different name, like on the opening credits, to what it's actually called. Is it? It's not Night 11 Dead, is it?
Is it Dead Alive, Brain Dead?
I'm going to look into that because there's a film that has. Say again.
I was saying, is that just an international thing? Dead Alive and Brain Dead?
No, I'm pretty sure there's a name that has a film that has a different name burned into the film reel. I'll look into that because I think that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that is.
Well, is it A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, or A Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
That's what it said on the film.
Freddy's Revenge.
Who's revenge? Whose colon's had a revenge? Oh no, shouldn't have eaten that curry. But yeah, it's a great opening scene. I enjoyed it. I like a good bit of bus horror,
So they end up in hell, and then they end up on a precipice in hell. Like all of the like the scenery falls away, and then they're kind of just over like oblivion. And then the bus driver gets up. It's just Jesse and two. Are they other characters? I don't remember now. Are they other characters from the film? Are they just randos on the bus?
Randos who are laughing at him for some reason. And he tries to open the
they
window.
keep looking around, and he's like chuckling at the fact that he's noticed them laughing and he's getting paranoid about it.
Well annoying that is.
So he screams. It was a nightmare this whole time. His family's downstairs. His sister is eating a bowl of cereals of Fu Manchus.
Fu Manchus, that racist cereal.
What's the toy? She gets the toy out.
Fu Man fingers, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, Fu Manchu, like racist, like big long scratchy nails.
There was a moment where obviously Jesse sort of makes that association with Freddy's claw hand, and like looks at her like.
Yeah, so I think the mum and dad I think the daughter's like, "What's up with Jesse?" And the mum is kind of more on his side. He's all right. He's just going through some changes.
Just having a nightmare.
Everything changes. He's the sweatiest man alive.
He's very sweaty.
Never have I seen a sweatier man.
He's very sweaty. He's also very whiny. Like, I feel like he whines a lot. He's
like, "Oh, it's so hot in here, Dad."
Yeah.
And then the dad's response is, "I want that room unpacked by tonight." But he's going to school. "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm off to this optional thing. School.
What are you doing?
I'm going to have all day PE. Apparently,
I'm going to be doing press ups constantly for hours. What are you doing, Dad? You sat on your ass all day. Why don't you go and unpack my room?
Yeah, just reading your newspaper and watching your parakeets all day. Come on,
grow up.
Yeah.
And I want your room unpacked. It's not affecting you, Dad. The boxes are contained in my bedroom.
Also, like downstairs. Go on.
He's the dad is the only person who knows that this is Nancy Thompson's former home, isn't he? Obviously, we do get a scene later, a classic scene where someone says, "How do you think we got it so cheap?" But if you weren't aware, none of the other characters know that that's the case.
So he goes to school. I think he meets up with what's her face to go to school.
So Lisa.
Yeah.
She picks him up and he's her lift to school. I also wondered is that the same car as Nancy? Has he also got Nancy's old car?
Oh, well, as a package deal.
Yeah.
No one's using this car, so I'm
Just
afraid.
in the garage.
Yeah. What a deal they got on that house.
Yeah.
Got free cars, oh yeah, and also got all these clothes that would
Do you
fit
have
a
any?
teenage
Does
girl.
the house have any cocktails in there? No, you've got to bring your own. BYOB. Bring your own birds.
BYOB. Make sure
Everything else,
flammable.
though, you are getting a great deal. So yeah, he nips off to school for his day of all-day PE. PE is very varied. The boys have baseball and the girls have archery really nearby the baseball.
Too close, I would say.
Yeah, they have nearby archery. During the game of baseball, Jesse gets an aggressive debagging.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what happens?
Yeah,
But
what?
literally, they're playing baseball and they get the guy caught between two bases. I think it's Grady. Gets caught between the two bases.
I don't know.
Yeah, they have to tag you with the ball before you get to a base.
What?
They gotta touch you with the ball.
That's not what it looks like in movies.
But that's why you slide. You've got to get to the base before they can touch you with the ball.
So you slide beneath them as they're trying to touch you with the ball.
Yeah. So you've got to touch the base before they touch you with the ball.
I think I'm mixing baseball up with rounders.
I think you can still be caught out. Like
easily done.
I think if you catch it before it touches the ground, I don't know baseball. I've never claimed to be a baseball player. I think you can be caught out, but if you've been caught, if the ball has been captured, like they haven't caught it before it's touched the ground, but they've got it, I think then they can, if you're between bases trying to go around the bases, if you're touched with the ball, then you're out.
Interesting. Well, Jesse takes a baseball to the face, I think.
Oh, he gets bonked on the head by the ball, and then
I don't know why he just looks
looking at the sky. I guess he's tired from all the nightmares.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got nightmare hangover, so he gets bonked on the head, and then in another exchange he gets Grady out, and he responds by
kegging him.
Yeah, literally, he
kegging him. And how does somebody react?
Well, not even that. He like literally rips the bum out of his trousers. He's like, "I'll teach you."
I'll teach. I mean, that's humiliating. But someone said, "Well, Lisa's friends is the one who says nice ass."
Yeah, she's checking him out. She's like, "Oh, so
nice ass."
How does she describe it? Oh, you getting any yet? She's like, "Oh, come on, he's just well left to school." Yeah, and then she cops an eyeful of his entire bum after he rips the trousers.
Suddenly, I'm changed.
He's not wearing normal pants over the top of the jock strap. Again, I don't know. They don't show that detail of baseball in other films.
Do you not wear do you not what pants?
He's wearing a jock strap as well. I mean, he is a gay icon. There's no other way.
It seemed like there was like straps around the thighs and no actual pants covering the
all I know region. Is that Luke definitely paused, rewind, paused, rewind, pause, rewind, and then made some notes.
Let me get the logistics of this out of the way.
And then Kat came in and said, "What are you doing?" He went, "Nothing. Just looking at holidays."
She's walked in on me watching some strange movies at the wrong time. I've had to try and talk them away.
That's just Freddy's Revenge. It's just Freddy's Revenge. What are you watching there? It's Freddy's Revenge again. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Freddy's got a lot of revenge to have.
I don't remember this bit in Freddy's Revenge. It's deleted scenes. Deleted scenes. I'm watching a DVD.
Yeah, I do a podcast about this. I've got to get all the content down.
All the details. No pants.
A lot of shower scenes in this movie. So many shower scenes.
No pants. Interested.
So
what's the theme? What's the subtext here?
So
pants are useless.
Jesse, like you can be protected from, if you stay awake, you get your pet pills, you drink a lot of coffee, you can stop yourself going to sleep and Freddy getting you in your nightmares, but you cannot protect yourself from being dacked. That could happen at any time.
Is it dacked? What you would say?
I say kegged, and I know
in Manchester,
dacked. In Manchester they say kecked.
I say kecked.
Okay, so for listeners who aren't from one of these regions, that means like your friend sneaks up behind you and pulls down your pants. Hopefully, just the outer layer of the trousers and not the inner pants. But it has happened.
It has happened where sometimes both, and then you get tangled up in your legs and you fall forwards onto your face and your ass.
Oh no, it's the worst. I mean, technically, if someone just debags you and pulls your trousers, it was debagging at my school.
Oh, debagging, nice.
If someone just debags you and just pulls your trousers down, then that's fine. It's a bit of little bit of fun and games for school. You're a bit embarrassed this time, but if they do get your pants as well, everyone in the area of the playground has to go on the sex offenders register. just accidentally.
Initially, I thought you said teabagged, not debagged.
No, debagged.
That's something completely
different. That's a different thing. And of course, I'm of the age. You guys might have caught the tail end of it with your poppers, I guess, because there's a whole other angle to it where you wouldn't even have to pull people's trousers down.
I forgot poppers were a thing.
Oh, poppers! Get yourself some poppers, and then someone's just going to come along and.
Yeah, I mean they're not school friendly popper trousers. Did you? I mean, in school, this was a big thing. We're just getting like dead legs and dead arms. Like, if you went into like a grown man as an adult and gave them a dead leg, like it's horrendous. Like you make it so you're hurting someone so much that they can't feel their leg anymore. Like it's so bad. And as a kid, you're like, does it hurt? No. And like you're limping away, like you literally can't move your leg. It's horrendous.
I feel like 90% of the interactions between children, certainly when I was at school, was about hurting one another.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used to run up to your friends and go, angina, and punch them right in the center of the chest. Like,
oh God, it's horrible.
Winded,
chest cavity.
People used to just punch each other in the balls. Like they just walk up to you and I don't know, not kick you.
Oh, you do that flick thing with your hand, so it doesn't hurt at first, but then it starts to hurt about 10 seconds later.
I got winded fairly recently, falling off a bike. Well, it was a few months ago. I literally, there's nothing. It's horrible. It's horrific. You're like, I'm dead. I am dead. I am dead.
That's my soul escaping my body.
Because when it happens, you forget what being winded is. So for a second, you're literally like, what's going on? Where am I?
So
they get done for that. Yeah.
Decked and the teacher is, I think it's called Seymour, is it?
Coach Schneider.
Coach Schneider is what's his name from Total Recall, isn't he? The one with the thing on his body.
Quato. The thing attached to Quato. Yeah,
that's right.
He has not got a Quato on him, and he does not stand for that messing around. I don't know why Jesse gets in trouble for having his pants pulled down.
Yeah, I don't like that logic. That's annoying.
Or do they just fight?
That's another
thing.
There's
a bit
school.
of scrap. Yeah, school. Yeah, if you were getting beat up, you would still get kind of told off for it.
They're beating me up. Stop fighting. I'm getting beaten up here. God, grow up.
But they have to do like press ups.
They have to do ineffective press ups in the dirt.
Yeah,
those press ups. The form is not good. I mean, it sounds like they've been doing it for a long time there, so you got to.
Maybe they're real tired because it has been, as far as we learn, all day at school. And he has and then now Grady, they're friends now. They've had a fight. Classic boys at school. They've had a punch up, and now they're best detail mates.
That the bully's not just a bully all the way through. There's a switch around there.
It's a good detail, and it's a nice sort of like unique relationship to be shown in like not just a slasher movie, but like any sort of teen movie. It's a nice detail because a lot of these characters are quite one-dimensional. Or can be quite one-dimensional. I feel like that gave me a little something extra to these
kind of friendly,
and it also made me kind of care when Grady gets got.
Yeah,
I was a bit like, that's a shame.
Grady's description when he looks over at Lisa, who's still doing some archery, watching them do the press ups. So are you mounting her nightly? I'm like, oh, Grady. You can only sink lower if you have a scene later in the film where you're talking entirely with your mouth full for the entire scene.
Oh yeah, that was annoying. That was annoying. He's like, over there, what, Meryl Streep? No.
Yeah. Meryl Streep, are you mounting her nightly? Oh, Grady, no. But he's not. This is no. Just friends. Just friends.
Stage. The mounting may come later, possibly.
Unfortunately, I can also confirm that he gets home and he doesn't unpack his room at all. He just goes straight to bed after that long PE and has a nightmare. Well, he has a dream first where he quite slowly wanders around the house, sees Freddy down in the basement, and then has a quick bump into him.
Yeah. Does it at this point Freddy say like "kill for me" or?
He says that a bit later. Right now, he's like, he sees him in the basement and he's holding the door closed. He's like, "Dad, Dad," and it's like,
what?
Daddy can't help me now. This is where he shows him his brain.
Oh, it's like pulsing.
He says, "You've got the body and I've got the brain."
I will say, bitch.
Jesse screams.
I will say, I love the practical effects in this film. They're pretty great. Like
peels that head back.
Yeah, pulsy and goopy. What year did this film come out? Do we know?
Did you say 85, Ben? 84?
So it's 1985, this one, yeah.
And what year did Candyman come out? That was like 90s, right?
That was 1990, I believe, yeah.
Because
or 89 or 90.
There's some similarities. I don't know, of like,
the way he talks to him, like "be my victim." And...
that's what stuck to me. Struck out to me. Stuck out to me, and also that whole vibe of the killer kind of killing people, and it cuts to the person like, it looks like I've done this. I don't know. It seems a little bit familiar, but can't be all original.
But you're right, Luke. And Freddy isn't quite in it. He's not in his bitch phase yet. He just says, "Daddy can't help you now."
When does he become a right mouthy gobshite?
He starts saying "bitch" from the next one because number 3 is famously "Welcome to prime time, bitch."
Yeah.
Very bitch heavy.
Yeah. Right now, he's just he's got some good lines in this one. "Look after yourself, fucker." That's one of them.
Witty.
Yeah, he's just he's after revenge right now. Right now, he hasn't got time. Now, Freddy is livid. He's getting ready for some revenge.
Who's he revenging upon? I don't understand. Like
people
the parents,
the house,
different people,
the
live
street.
There.
Yeah, it's
the street. That's it.
If you live in this street, I am going to be after you.
Because this one day on this street, and there was a little pebble. Didn't see it. Went skidded for miles. Look at my grazed skin. That's from skateboarding.
Grazed.
Yeah, that was Freddy's original Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what he was skateboarding on. He was like, "Oh." Gets home, his face is all scarred. His wife, Mrs. Krueger's there, saying, "Oh, what happened to you?" I've just had a nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, that's it. And then it's
now he just asks everyone what their postcode is. He goes, "What's your postcode?" And he goes, "Right, that's it."
Freddy is a shit version of the postcode lottery.
Yeah,
the worst version of the postcode lottery. He turns up at your house
at the door.
Someone's ringing your bell.
Yeah, that's
Freddy's knocking at the door. Freddy's slicing the skin off your face.
Yeah, but he wakes up again, but Jesse is still dead tired, and then we just have a little throwaway scene where he's at school. Today's lesson is all-day science. And then I didn't get on this one. So does Grady put the snake on him when he's fallen asleep in class, or did the snake teleport on him with Freddy?
Again,
a classic school prank. You put the anaconda on the sleeping person.
It's literally going around his neck.
The pranked person, the prankee,
gets told
is blamed. Oh, if you want to play with a snake, what does he say? Go to the circus
or something.
Yeah, get in the bloody circus.
Get in the bloody circus. Like, I was clearly asleep, but what I like about this is that at least Jesse gives Grady the finger and is kind of like laughing.
Yeah, he like laughs along with it.
He laughs along with it.
I like that kind of. There's a weird like camaraderie. Like
it's just an interesting dynamic for like a school-based movie, for there not to be like a bully, a teacher, a love interest. It's almost like everyone has got like a different role to play, and it's quite unique.
Yeah.
Is it the most like nuanced school relationships in a movie of its era? Because you're right, usually it is very Breakfast Club, right, where there's archetypes of these different things. It is unusual that you've got people who they're kind of friends, but their friendship is pissing each other off.
I feel like that's more realistic, because there are plenty of people that I was like, I wouldn't consider them a friend at school, but it might have been somebody that you kind of had a bit of banter with, or maybe you had like one joke or one in joke. And other people were like, for some reason, I wouldn't call them a bully, but for some reason, you hated each other. You know, I had relationships like that, and kind of people that you didn't speak to so much, but I think it just felt more realistic. It felt more,
it did
more balanced.
It's nuanced. It's the Dear Evan Hansen of its time. I haven't seen that film, but
yeah.
We're giving this film a deeper meaning than ever before, and just in time for us to get to the best scene ever. So after school and all day maths or science, Jesse is about to nip out to go and see Lisa, who's rich and has a swimming pool. And Dad is having none of it. Dad's like, no. I told you
okay. Yeah.
I wanted you to unpack this room. So off you go now, son. He does some firm dad talk. And goes,
his dad reminds me of like a northern dad from like a British coming of age drama.
Always on the sofa.
Yeah.
Get upstairs and clean room, you bastards. That's terrible, sorry. But that sort of I apologize. But that sort of attitude, and to hear like an American sort of accent.
He's been at the polish, the silverware polishing factory all day.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, up you go and clean your room, son. And
he's literally just about to leave as well. That's annoying, isn't it?
Oh, he's got his coat on and everything. He's like, oh well, I'm just off out. No.
He's got a little wrapped up towel where obviously he's got his little speedos in there.
Yeah,
as well.
he could have shouted up to him and said, hey son, a little bit of advice. Gonna unpack your room, but he says, fine. If I'm gonna unpack my room, I'm gonna have a good time doing
style.
it.
Yeah.
And do it with style, but also do it like, when you just chuck everything under the bed.
Yeah, he's literally pouring the box into a drawer.
Yeah.
And he puts on a great musical track. Kathy Dennis, Touch Me All Night Long.
It feels quite normal until he butt bumps the drawer closed.
Oh,
I feel at that point, it's like, this is an interesting dance. I've not seen it before.
Thankfully, then he manages to find, he gets his big shades. I love that thing. I found the gif of it when he's trying, he puts the first lot of shades on and he's like, clicks his fingers. Then he finds some more. I'll move to the picture. He finds some more extravagant shades and a pop gun. I used to have a pop gun.
I didn't know
filming that scene must have been fun.
It's just like a thing. I guess the air pressure used to like fires a cork out of the end. It makes a little pop sound, and he's doing like a suggestive dance with it
from the crotch. That's an interesting choice.
He knew what he was doing.
Why would you not do it from the crotch? Well, just do it from the hip. Always
aim it like a sniper.
But it came in like the apex of the thrust. So it's very, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He knows he's doing exactly what he's doing. He's thinking analytical. But like, I know we had a short-lived section of real life horrors. This is the worst one.
Go on.
If you're singing or dancing, you just enjoyed yourself, and then someone walks in. Oh my goodness! Yeah. It's like the world has ended very briefly. And Lisa, that girl he fancies, has come round, and his mom has brought her up. They've seen him, and he does. It's after he's done the pop of the pop gun. He kind of like jumps down from the bed and tries to like style it out before standing there.
That was all the joke. That's it.
I wonder what.
Oh, I knew you were watching.
I mean, what is she thinking?
She's thinking, take me now. She's thinking,
touch me, baby, drive me crazy, touch me, all night long is what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Oh,
how impatient is she as well? Because he's only been cleaning the room for like 5 minutes, and already Lisa's gone. Right, he's obviously not coming to join me in the pool. I better go to his house and see where he's at.
I don't know. Maybe it's like the power of a montage. And I've done this before. Been really ineffective at doing some kind of job, and then someone helps you, like Lisa does, and the whole room is perfect within 2 minutes. That song might have been on repeat for like 45 minutes, an hour. That's how he's choreographed that entire dance routine.
Yeah. She comes around and she helps, but then she like takes a book out of the wardrobe, which is the opposite of tidying up. She's making a mess, if anything, taking things out. But it's a diary, and it's Nancy's diary from.
They literally left everything in this house, haven't they? Cars, diaries,
parakeets.
It makes sense because her mum got turned into like an inflatable doll, and
and then in another, oh yeah, because first her mum burned up in the bed, because I'm not sure what that ending is meant to be, right? Because before the nightmare ends, she gets turned into a skeleton and then sucked into the poltergeist dimension through the bed.
Yeah, needs to get mattress.
And then she's alive again, and then gets slurped through the door by Freddy as a blow up doll.
What happened to the dad? Is he like a police?
No, he's fine. He's in it again. He's in the third one.
He got turned into a parakeet, and he's been there the whole time waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is gone, but yeah, apparently most of Nancy's things did get taken out, apart from that diary. They've cleaned out that entire wardrobe. I mean, I stay in hotels for a day and I check drawers I've never even opened to make sure I haven't left anything. Yeah. Have I accidentally put my passport in this drawer that I haven't opened the whole time I've been here?
Yeah. Have I accidentally left my deepest, most personal thoughts?
Yeah. That diary about that time that you wanted to have sex with Glenn from over the road, and that time that you met a Freddy.
And he got eaten by his mattress as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. She hates mattresses now. Can't sleep on them. She's got a fear of mattresses.
She's got a futon.
Yeah. So they look for the diary, and then I think that some of the things that she reads out ring true in Jesse's dreams that he's been having. I can't remember what.
Oh, it says, this geezer, he's a filthy old bloke, got a hat, named Fred.
Yeah.
She calls him Fred, not Freddy. She's very formal about it.
Frederick. Would be the correct. Frederick Kruegerton. So, I mean, what happens here? So, I think Jesse goes to bed and everything starts melting. Is it that point?
Yeah, he wakes up. It's all melty. He's got the glove, and this is when Freddy's going, "Go on, do some killing for me." And it's like, "Oh, Fred,
yeah,
don't
do a little bit of killing for me, will you? You know you want to."
This is when he goes to the bar in his pajamas. He goes to like a leather bar in his pajamas.
I mean, is that? Oh, hang on. Is that that? I think that's after the birds. We don't want to miss that. So the next
killer cockatiels bit.
Yeah, the killer cockatiels are there. The dad is basically going, "Shit, Jesse, will you stop going on about the heating?" Even though they're all like pouring with sweat.
Is that a common thing in Nightmare on Elm Street movies as well? Like it gets hot.
I don't think so.
The carpet got melty in the first one in a nightmare, but this is like in the real world because the mom and dad are all there as well.
His like CD, his records aren't melting in the real world. That's a dream bit, I think.
That's just a dreamy bit. Yeah,
that was a dream. But now it's really hot in the house. Even the dad is hot, and then he goes, "Oh, I keep telling you, there's nothing wrong with this house." Just before the third thing this week catches fire, like the toaster just catches fire, even though it's not plugged in.
Just a coincidence.
But then the birds start rattling and rumbling, and one of the birds has been killed, and the other one's gone insane. And it's like that. And it's like that video. The parakeet that's not dead has got out, and it's like attacking the little sister, attacking the mum and dad. It scratches the dad across the face.
Yeah. He's like really bad at being like a protective dad at that point as well. He kind of cowers and just tells the others to run away.
So quick, everyone run away. It's like that viral video from a couple of years ago about the bat.
With the bat. That's exactly what I was going to say. Catch him, Jerry. Catch him, Jerry. Put a blanket on him. Also, when he gets scratched in the face by it, he makes the most of it. He's got a plaster on his face the rest of the film. He thinks he's Nelly.
Nelly.
I'm like, oh, grow up. It's a tiny little scratch. He's like, nah,
maybe that was how the actions of this dad now is how Kelly Rowland found herself in Freddy versus Jason. The casting director was looking, see if I can get some inspiration from the old.
Oh my God, that's things. A domino effect.
And it's like Nelly
or a butterfly
Kelly.
Effect. Nelly, Kelly, texting on the Microsoft Excel app. A classic moment.
Yeah. With a sonar pulse bit and that song. But anyway, so that bird catches fire. Jesse's dad immediately shifts to blame culture. It was like, how did you bloody do it, Jesse? Bombs.
Yeah.
Bombs inside the birds. And he's like, no, obviously not, Dad. No.
I think if you feed birds rice, they blow up. I think that was in The Simpsons. but I don't know if that's true.
Oh.
The dad is almost starting a fight with him. His mum's having to hold him back. He goes on upstairs, and then this, I think, is when he goes to bed, wakes up. It's incredibly hot and sweaty. So the best thing to do is to go to a seedy leather bar in town.
Yeah,
in your pajamas as well. Like initially, I was like, is he wearing just like a Hawaiian shirt?
In your jammies undone to make it
fair,
extra
though,
hot and
I mean,
sexy.
There's a lot of unique looks in this bar, it seems, anyway. So it seems like the kind of place where if you were going to go in your pajamas, this is probably the only place you can go where probably no one's going to judge you.
And he gets served. For a country where 21 is the drinking age, he gets a beer right away. But
has he got any money? Has he got any money in his gym jams?
I'm guessing because he's a cute man in his gym jams. Maybe he gets it for free in that place. You come without a shirt done up, you get at least one free beer.
He's got that like baby fetish where he's wearing a diaper.
Yeah, but unfortunately for this though, Jesse gets busted because his teacher just so happens to be undercover in that leather bar.
I think if you were,
I was undercover waiting for you. I was definitely undercover.
I think if you were in Jesse's position and your teacher saw you whilst wearing like a leather vest, and I don't think the teacher would make themselves known. I think
you'd avoid eye contact, pretend you didn't see each other. Also,
it'd be like that Spider-Man gift. They'd both be pointing at you.
Also, how's he got him to go back to the school with him? Like, I'd be like,
come back to school with me to be punished.
Hang on a minute.
Time for more precedence.
Maybe it's next door. I don't know.
You've got no authority over me here. I'm in the leather bar. I'll do what I want outside of work. Outside of school hours.
It might be legal to drink that. Okay, that's fine. I'll go to prison. I'm not going to school. Like, I'm not.
Come and do some laps around the sports hall.
Do laps of the gym. Also,
no, absolutely not.
Also, Coach Schneider, you are living in a town which has a history of burning child abusers alive.
Yeah. Mate.
Careful, mate. Be careful. Just getting him to do some sexy laps around. No.
Right, get your jammies off. Get your
PTA meeting.
Get your peak on.
Tell them everything.
It's just very, very weird. Like he's clearly not with it either, Jesse. So like the act of him taking him back to the school is just bizarre. Did he drive? Did he get on public transport? Like, what is happening?
Yeah, and he's like,
I think it's just next door to the leather bar.
Yeah, and so Coach Schneider has gone back into his coach's office to get changed out of his like leather vest into his very heavily Adidas branded sports gear.
Yeah, he's only got two skins, the two uniforms.
But then he gets but then he gets attacked by literally all of the balls.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean,
he keeps getting like knocked in the face by basketballs and stuff. A lot of that stuff doesn't look like it. I mean, it would hurt, but I wouldn't collapse on the floor and hide. Apart from the dumbbells.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. They're like tennis balls. No, let's really get into the homoerotic undertones of a man getting repeatedly hit by balls in the face.
They're not even undertones, subtext. When his pants are pulled down and he's whipped on the bottom.
He gets dragged into the showers by skipping ropes.
Pretty blatant.
This is supposed to be homoerotic subtext here. What are you doing, whipping his ass? Well, we got to go whole hog with it.
Literally, Freddy is getting the towels and like spinning them up into like whipping things, and he's like whipping him. And Schneider's not into that. Of all the things he is into, he's not really into being horseplayed.
Freddy ought to watch out because they'll be doing laps in a second. Right.
You might like that a little bit, but that was way too hard. Do you know what I mean? It's already left. It's immediately left a mark.
I mean, it looks sore. It looks pretty sore.
He's
also Jesse's just watching from the fog.
Yeah, he's just having a shower going.
He's really enjoying that shower as well. Like it's the first shower he's had ever.
Some showers and that it looks like nice hot water. You know when it's so powerful and then like the smack in the back of your neck, you're like, I'm never getting out of this shower.
Maybe he's not going to have one of those in a public thing because it's going to be like swimming pool things where you can push it in and you get about 8 seconds of hot water.
Oh no! You got to lean back into it. Haven't you?
You've got to try and get the small of your back into the button so you can.
Dangerous game.
Yeah, but the mist all comes up and Jesse is transformed to Freddy.
He was Freddy all along.
I don't know.
Is that what we're supposed to believe?
Yeah,
possibly.
sure.
So he transforms
gets,
to Freddy in his clothes, and Freddy basically slashes up Schneider.
Polite slashes, I'd say, because they don't seem to go through or don't seem to be that violent, but they're enough to kill him.
His health was quite low from the whipping, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was already on like danger.
Yeah. If you're melee, one buttoned all the way to the last bit of life.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter. You could take several Hadoukens, and you could be in quite low, but if they get kicked in the shin at the end. It's enough. You've just taken that amount of pain. You've just taken too much pain to withstand, and he's just gone.
Or like on Mortal Kombat when you're trying to do the fatality, and you end up just giving him like a little fatality.
Do that thing where they literally just go stiff and fall over backwards.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. So that's that one. Schneider's there. The police find Jesse wandering the streets naked. They bring him home, and his dad, you on drugs?
Yeah, wandering the streets.
Dad says, "What are you on?" I mean, he thinks he's on drugs, but I mean, I don't know what would drugs explain. I think even the mum says, like, "Are you smoking something?" Or
the thing is, he's having so many problems with sleeping. Like, I think you'd immediately go, "Is it something like sleepwalking, fugue state nonsense?"
Yeah.
I suppose.
His dad wants to send him to a methadone clinic. Isn't that for like what is that?
Heroin.
For?
That's for heroin. Yeah, and I mean,
not taking heroin.
Heroin. You're not going to be like, "Oh, I've had a lovely bit of heroin. Time for a walk. Let's go naked down the street." Like that's no.
Yeah. But and also the police that they find that Schneider's been killed. But should we arrest that boy we found wandering naked? And his clothes are almost No, we're not going to make the connection. Who is the detective in charge of this murder investigation? Because he's literally gone. Probably Nancy's bloody dad from the first one. It's nothing to do with solving any crimes. He goes to bed. He wakes up in the morning. He's not feeling fine. This is when it all comes out. The dad's bought dad's like, "Oh, all right, Jesse, on drugs again, are you this morning?" He's like, "Well,
he's got an even bigger plaster on his face now." He started off with a little one like that, and then this one's like going all the way down his face. I'm like,
he's got a classic cross of plasters. And he's like, "Well, how about you, Dad? You ain't so perfect. You only bought over the haunted house, didn't you?" Because and he's like, that's when the dad's like, "There's nothing wrong with this house." Then the toaster just catches fire.
Yeah,
I got a great deal. It's great. Free car, free diary. What more do you want?
Well, them free parakeets worked out well, didn't they, Dad?
Yeah, little exploding parakeets. There's a few pages in the back of that diary. It could become your diary. There we go. We'll make the most of it. Make the most of a bad time.
This is just where Lisa takes Jesse on a little trip to like the power station, also where Freddy used to work.
It's like a boiler room, but like a industrial sized boiler.
Like a deluxe. This is like the industrial zone in Crystal Maze.
I recognize this place. This looks like everywhere. This looks like the end of Terminator 2. It looks like RoboCop.
At the end,
2.
I was like, I'm pretty sure if they pan the camera left, they'd see Terminator dipping into some lava, giving it a thumbs up. Yeah.
It's like, and it's on like a big hill in the middle of like a wasteland. This is where like Dragon Ball Z fights happen. This is like Zordon's command center. Yeah. They're all the places. Also Freddy's base of operations. And they go in there and they go, "Oh, why don't you?" Because Lisa's been reading Nancy's diary, and it's like, "Oh, maybe you're not turning into a Freddy and doing a murder. No? Maybe you're getting psychic vibes." It's bloody malignant. That's what's happening. He's having the Freddy's malignant in him.
He's like, now he can be a crappy, like, what's the word? Psychic. What's the word?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is he like?
Like a psychic. Like he's like,
psychic.
"Oh,
that's what I'm
get some psychic vibes." He goes, "Oh, you getting any feelings?" "Yeah, I feel like an absolute dickhead." And then there's just a rat in a box that scares them.
Yeah. Maybe it's the same rat later on that is like a mutant. Like I think it's Splinter from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. It was getting ready to do that, and it transformed, but then they just looked away. Yeah. And it went, "Oh, wasting a good,
I'll be ready for
transformation."
I'll be ready for you next time. And then basically that's all that happens that day. And then the next night, Jesse's little sister gets woken up because Freddy goes, kid, wake up. And then we look up and it's Jesse with a Freddy glove on.
I don't think Freddy sounded that violent. I don't think he was going to do any murders at that point. He just sounded like he just wanted to wake the kid up.
Yeah, he was just trying to he was just like making things inconvenient. Like, hey kid, wake up. And then she wakes up a little bit and goes, oh, what time is it? And Jesse goes, it's late, go back to sleep. It's like, make your fucking mind up, Jess.
But Freddy Krueger is a child murderer, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but why is it only teenagers he really goes after in these
Because
movies?
it's been a few years and children have got older.
Childs of older.
His tastes grow with age. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's.
I mean, now
like
in 2021, lock up your granddads.
Look at your grand. They're always asleep as well, granddads.
Either that or Freddy was trying to avoid the things that would trouble his career later on. Like he was like, right, I kill teenagers, and then I think Nancy describes him in the first one as a filthy child murderer. So, he's conscious that he's skirting the fine line of being recognized as like a big old pedo. And then in the remake, and he's like, I'm going to stay away from this. I'm going to kill teenagers. And then obviously it doesn't work out because in that remake, they basically go, "You're a proper nonce, Freddy."
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see Nightmare on Elm Street takes on like the old folks' home, where they're like their dementia is kind of playing into the nightmare logic as well, and they can't stop napping. Oh god,
you have loads of naps when you're old. The killers get you easy.
Killers would be absolutely knackered.
Who's put Formula One on?
Oh, Wimbledon.
The killer's knackered, just like, oh, not again. I can't be bothered. It's literally 10 times a day chasing after you in your dreams.
Yeah. So I guess we're coming to the party night now at Lisa's pool party.
It's getting towards
Lisa's
party night.
She's having a pool party, and the dad is like doing a barbecue,
cooking a few wieners,
cooking up the wieners, putting the
Grady hasn't come because he's grounded for, and I quote, pushing his grandma down a flight of stairs.
What? I didn't miss that. Is that what happened?
Yeah, you can't. It's hard to tell because on the day at school before the party, that's the scene where Jesse speaks. Where Grady speaks entirely with his mouth full of burger. He's like,
that was bothersome. Finish what's in your mouth before you say something else. No, I've got a fresh bite here. Also, what constitutes as a flight of stairs? Because surely if you push your grandmother down a whole flight of stairs, dead. That's murder or attempted murder at least.
Hang on. Thick carpets in the 80s. Wasn't all your hardwood floors like it is today, Ben. No laminates around here. You had big, thick shag pile carpet. Old person falls down the stairs in the 80s.
Wallpaper's
bounce back up.
Ridges on it you can grab onto as you're falling down. It's like whatever that is called that you piddle off.
So, and his nan was fine. So all he got was a grounding. So he can't make it to Lisa's party. But you're right, Ben. So the dad is going to DJ, but they are going upstairs at some point. The party begins. Mom and dad do go upstairs, and everyone watches for the lights to go off.
It's weird that their lights also. I guess when the lights are off, it's like it soundproofs the bedroom or something because they're so. As soon as the lights go off, they're so loud.
Yeah, they literally whack the music up and begin a full-blown orgy.
Yeah. Everybody get in the swimming pool. There's a really weird guy that we don't see at any point, but he starts.
I didn't see.
He's all over Lisa's friend. Like he's just a proper weird, creepy guy.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's got a quiff and he's very crabby from the swimming pool. That's like already seems to be boiling because it's not like a giant jacuzzi, is it? Like it's it's bubbling right.
I'm assuming it's boiling pretty much straight off because Freddy's in the vicinity, so he's clearly
he brings the heat.
If you're ever in some sort of body of water and it's bubbling from the heat, I'd say get out. That's probably too hot. That's how Cat has a bath, though, to be fair.
You know what? If you could come to an arrangement that you would neither possess or murder you, Freddy would do wonders for your heating bill.
How'd you come to that arrangement, though? Because I don't think he's a trustworthy type.
No.
Maybe
not have kids.
Yeah, but I
mean, he needs to make his mind up. He either likes kids a lot inappropriately too much,
Too much.
or he doesn't like him at all. He's always trying to kill him.
Yeah. He's
So-
quite a confused individual, Freddy Krueger.
I may have told you this before. Stop me if I have. Like, once had a nightmare about we were marathoning Freddy Krueger movies. Me and my friend Tom had a nightmare about Freddy. He was chasing me through a house. Got to the bit. He came out of the microwave in the dream.
That sounds like what he'd do.
chasing us through the house. We got out to the front garden. This sort of swamp monster, a bit like the Gill Man, hopped up from behind the garden hedge. Must have been the neighbour, I suppose. Threw a load of spaghetti hoops over Freddy. Ruined his jumper. He was so upset. He broke down. He was having floods of tears. And then I calmed Freddy down. Said, "Don't get upset, mate. We'll go and get you a new jumper." And we did. Went down Tamworth Town Centre. Got him a new jumper. He was thrilled. And then we decided we were going to get to swim baths. But I woke up before we got there.
That sounds lovely. Like you turned it.
does.
It's like a kids' TV show, a very wholesome experience. That sounds nice. You should have taken him to the what do you call it? It's like a skiing thing in town.
Got the snow dome. Well, in Tamworth, the snow
yeah.
dome is where the swimming baths is as well. It's just another bit of it. So we did go.
Okay. Yeah, or the bowling alley. I've been to the bowling alley in
It's
Tamworth.
over the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we would have gone to all. They called the area Pleasure Island for a while.
There you go. Take
Or
Freddy to
Leisure
Pleasure
Island.
Island. I think
Take Freddy to Pleasure Island. It could have turned his whole thing around.
Yeah.
There's no one above redemption, Luke.
yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that didn't happen in this one though.
No, in this one,
Unfortunately not.
What happened?
Lisa is fine. Like Lisa and Jesse are properly getting together, and
He's
they're
kind
getting
of
hot and
like
heavy.
motorboating.
Yeah, I've
but
got on my
like
notes here.
in a-
Freddie loves a motorboating, apparently.
Yeah.
It's
On
weird
the
'cause-
floor as well, because there's like little places next
Should
to it where
we
they
assume the motorboating position? Please
on the
lie down.
little there's like a cushion there, but they literally lie on the cold, hard floor.
Well, it's a very hot day, isn't it? Nice and refreshing to
But
lie on the
also,
tile.
It's her house, so she has a bedroom here.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
next door to her parents' room, surely.
Well, they're in the void of silence, having turned the
they, are
light on.
in, they are in the.
And if you lock the door, they're never getting out. They're never getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, he's grabbing onto her breasts as if he might slip off. If he's like,
Whoa!
Also, are we so Freddy takes control of him when he falls asleep, right? Are we meant to think that he falls asleep mid motorboat?
no, this is why Nightmare on Elm Street 2 kind of breaks the rules of Freddy quite a bit. I mean,
does.
he kind of breaks into the real world, which I don't think is correct. I mean, Andy, you're the Fred head, as it were.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you happy? You okay with this?
I think the logic kind of breaks here as well, because he's been trying to stay awake thinking that Freddy will possess him, but it seems inconsistent. Bearing in mind he's already been setting bits of the house on fire.
Yeah.
It
blew up a
just
bird.
feels he blew up a bird and everyone saw that. Maybe
I
he
love that
teleported
bird.
a snake earlier. We can't be sure if it was him or Grady. I guess, is this where the metaphor is there? Is this Jesse struggling between two worlds? If they push on the metaphor of like, is the, he's trying to get together with Lisa, but then this thing that's inside him, Freddy, if you take it by the straight side of things, as presented, is trying to spill out of him in the form of a big old horrid tongue, like a big
Well,
wham
yeah,
bar.
what's the best way to visualize this? Imagine a horrible, long, pig, fat tongue, yeah, coming out of his mouth. Can you imagine that? Yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're going to do.
Literally as if you stitched a ton of like bits of like bacon rashers together. And then it sort of spills out of his mouth, and he gets a bit spooked because no one in the middle of a motorboating session wants you to have a big old flump tongue. So he runs off to Grady's house and says, "Oh, Grady, can I sleep over?" And he goes,
There's a bit where even Grady says, "You're supposed to be spending the night with a girl, but you'd rather be here with me." Like, even that seems. I mean, the filmmakers were saying about it being subtext.
Subtext,
The more and
yeah.
more we talk about this, the more I realize how overt it is.
"Yeah,
Also, Grady doesn't get a very good deal here because can I sleep at your house? Yes, but also don't let me. But also don't you fall asleep. Does he say that? Or
Yeah,
I
don't
think,
fall
yeah,
asleep
he
because
says-
you're not.
yeah.
Don't let me fall asleep.
yeah, it's
Can I
like
come
no,
for
you
a
come to stay at my
sleepover? You're staying awake, right?
yeah, yeah. Can I sleep at your house? Yeah, but don't go to sleep. What? That's a
Too
terrible
late.
deal.
Thanks, bye. Night.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
you could have at least positioned it of, oh, come on, it'll be fun. We'll stay up. We'll watch a movie.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like
we'll
how
do
he
something fun.
puts Jesse on like the chair like a little cat. Like he kills up onto
Yeah,
the chair. At the
a little
end.
beanbag or something.
Gonna sleep over, but you know, there's no PlayStation. Oh, shall we try and complete
Oh.
Metal Gear Solid? We'll do an all nighter.
Yeah, that's what
No.
I would do. If you were worried about going to sleep, you'd
To be
play a
fair,
game
though,
or something.
he,
You play
he
Sonic
clicks.
all night.
He does a bit of channel surfing, and I don't blame him. There's nothing on. There's nothing on.
Le Mans 24 hours on. Oh shit!
It's like, oh,
What did they
Jesus
have it
Christ.
in that time? Pong. Did they have more than
Yeah.
Pong?
Could have had
85,
Pac-Man.
more
you
than
could have
Pong. Yeah,
had some Atari.
Atari. Yeah.
it'd have taken ages to get going, though, wouldn't it? Commodore's.
Playing it
You
on
wake up.
tapes.
You wake up the old house, the whole house.
Oh, sorry, if I've got the lights off though, Ben. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jesse's woken the whole house anyway because he's very loud.
Smacks through the window with his screaming.
Yeah. But so Grady, I think Grady doesn't do anything wrong. He sees that Jesse's finally got some sleep. He's like, "Sleep well, buddy." Like he pats him on the head like a little pet cat, and then yeah, nice one, Jesse. He's purring away there. And then
But then
Grady,
You'll sleep well
See,
tonight.
little horrible Freddy comes on out. This
Yeah,
I quite like the
immediately
effect of
as
this.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
immediately.
Freddy-
Yeah.
Yeah, Freddy comes out of his tongue, slashes his way out. You see, he's doing there's a face press.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
good.
Well, I think there's a bit. He opens his mouth, and then Freddy's like winking out of it.
Hey up
Here I am.
through the peephole.
Yeah.
It's cozy
He's out
there.
there.
Pushes his face into the stomach, that leaves like an impression, and then he's like cuts himself out of it.
Flashes his way out. The miscommunication between Grady and his dad. So he's like banging on the door saying, Dad, help. And his dad comes to the door and it's like, you open this door at once. Yeah, I was calling you to this door, Dad, that
He
I'm
also
going to
says that-
refuse to open.
He
Dad,
also
come here and
says-
be frustrated with me.
He also says at one point, Grady, it's your father. Open the door. Well, I mean, I completely understand that. Who else would it be?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, ineffective dad is ineffective. And Grady, so Jesse turns into Freddy, or Freddy comes out of Jesse, sheds him off like a skin.
Jumps out, kind of he explodes onto the scene, doesn't he? I don't think he kind of emerges onto the scene like a villain from Power Rangers, kind of jumps into it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then he
Pins
kind
into a wall.
Yeah.
He gets his claws right through the wall. Jesse is very upset. He's like, no, you killed him, you absolute bastard. And then Freddy's in
Brady's
the mirror.
more upset, I think.
You
Yeah.
killed him, you jerk off.
Yeah,
Freddy's in the mirror like, ho, ho, ho,
yeah. And then that'd be good if he like just did that, and then he kind of like a second. But he's there for a good 30 seconds.
He's
Like he's just going over and over, yeah, calling him a wanker, flipping him off.
Wanker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look around, he's alive. Ta,
so-
sucks in.
So Jesse dives out the window, escapes, and then he thinks, I'll go to the party then.
I will go back to the party. He nips back out after Freddy's basically framed him for that murder. He goes back to the party because Lisa, they're gonna take me away. I'm a bloody Freddy, aren't I? So you're not a Freddy. Don't be daft. You're absolutely not a Freddy. And then he immediately turns into a Freddy.
Yeah, shows
The claws are like organic in this one.
Yeah, it's weird. They like come out
his
of
like sausage meat hands.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
And this is where he bites Lisa's leg.
This
He
is
probably
weird.
gets
Like,
his-
Meaty leg.
at the same time, so the garden's been padlocked off, lamps are popping, the swimming pool's boiling, someone's overcooked the sausages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they continue trying
No
to
one's
make the
pricked
best
them.
of the party.
No
Well,
one's
they've not
pricked
done.
him.
No one's
Yeah,
pricked them, and they're just exploding now.
got to prick your sausages.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where not Jessie, Lisa is like at the breakfast bar, and Freddy's coming towards her, and there's about 10 guys looking through the window, like, oh
Yeah.
no,
looking through the French
here?
doors.
Yeah.
But again, I was thinking, are they seeing Jessie or are they seeing Freddy?
Even still, if they see Jessie like with knife hands,
and this is where Freddy does some good. Now, is this Jessie inside Freddy talking, or is this Freddy mocking her?
I mean, it could have been either or.
I took it as Jessie was like fighting his way. You know, there's some sort of mental fight going on.
Kill me, Lisa. And she goes, oh, I shan't. But then she does. She stabs him. But Freddy's made of sponge and is unstabbable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm spongy after all this. You look like a right dickhead, Meryl Streep.
Yeah, I'm spongy. You can't stab us.
Wait, so how did she even get out of this? Did she hit him with a frying pan or something?
No,
he leaps through the window, doesn't he?
She says,
but why?
Oh, Freddy is weak. Freddy is weak against like emotional chat because he goes, "Oh, I love you, Lisa," and she goes, "Oh, I love you too, Jessie." And Freddy goes, "Oh, fuck's sake!" and he just dead.
It was super effective.
He jumps through the window.
He goes, "Oh God, I can't handle this at all. I'm not ready for this type of commitment." We've literally had our first kiss about half an hour ago. Freddy's like, "Oh, I don't want any of this at all," and he just disappears as he jumps through the window.
Yeah, I kind of took it that he kind of disappeared into the garden, like because he appears
like a tremor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he just vanished. Literally, the frame is just keyed out. He just disappears. He magics himself into the ground. Is Jessie gone now? Jessie, he's not left behind, is he? He's like Freddy's just gone.
Yeah, it was a bit.
But that is an interesting point.
But he's only gone. But he's only gone for a minute. He pops back out of the ground, and this is where he does like a load of quotes. So he's literally the water's boiling. He's literally everything's exploding with fire. He's slashing people up in the party. He's like punching into them with his gloves. This is where that guy comes up and is like,
"Oh, this is awful. This is ridiculous."
It's like treating him like an alien baby that's landed on Earth. We're not going to hurt you.
Not going to hurt you.
A little puppy that's just just pissed itself. And you're like, "Come on, don't worry."
Freddy's just looking at him silently.
I'm not going to hurt
Probably
you.
Probably thinking, this dickhead. Dickhead.
This ain't my first rodeo, mate.
I'm
here the ghost of a murdered child killer.
And I'm here for revenge, all right? And Freddy points out to this guy, this other sharp line. He goes, "I'm here to help you." And it's like, "Help yourself, fucker." And then he says, "Hey, you lot, you're all my children now."
It's an interesting line.
Yeah, and then one person gets killed because they try to climb over the fence. They fall down and seem to get just blasted into fire in the bushes.
Someone gets crushed underfoot. People's like
my
using...
head was getting.
Yeah,
my face.
Half of the film's kill count, like most of the film's kill count, is just this garden rampage.
Yeah, some people they didn't read the signs around the pool. No running. Because they all slip into the pool, even there's nothing that's pushing them in there.
Yeah,
they're just slipping over. And
I feel like you'd avoid a boiling hot body of water, wouldn't you? To be like, don't go anywhere near that. But let alone fall in head first.
Yeah. Also, you've got that body of water to help you. Like, just be at the opposite side of the pool to Freddy.
Yeah, because he can't. I mean, it's boiling. Because there's a guy who puts his hand on a fence and it sparks and he goes, "Ah."
Can you imagine when they're unpicking this? When they're unpicking this later, it's like, well, Jason was, Jason got slashed up and he got called a fucker. Yeah. Joseph just got burned up by the fence. Someone else got slashed up. What happened to you? Oh, burned my hand on the fence.
It's really sore. You got some cream. Get some E45 on that, mate.
E45.
Oh, go and run that under the tap. Run it under the tap for a bit.
Run it under a cold tap.
He's got to just stand there. You've got to run it under the tap for longer than you think. It's going to hurt for ages.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of wild. It's like an all-out bloodbath of a scene. I can't really remember
what makes him leave? Just the dad comes out with a shotgun. Lisa
he's
sort of stops
allergic
him.
to shotgun shells.
She stops him from shooting it, and he goes, "Oh no, Jesse, I won't let you get away." And he's like, "Go in then." And he just literally does like a storm out.
See you later.
He storms towards, and then it turns to fire as he walks into it. But Lisa knows what to do. Her parents just let her go, I guess, and she heads alone to the Freddy Palace, his lair.
And like there the worst place you'd go on your own when you know that there's a Freddy Krueger inside.
There's some baby-faced dogs out there. I didn't get to this bit of the documentary, but I think they were just props for another film.
But what?
That was
from so
really,
much stuff
really
is shot. Yeah,
the dogs with baby faces.
Yeah. There's the rat that's got like
eaten
an evil face with an evil face. Yeah.
Then it gets eaten by an evil cat.
I mean, I quite like this whole vibe of like evil dimension sort of place that she's sort of having to go through. It's fire just erupting out of bits of wall or whatever. But I don't think it really works in a Nightmare on Elm Street film unless it's in a dream. I don't know. Yeah. That just seems wrong to me.
Especially as there's been no way for him to get there. Like there hasn't been an event that's allowed. Like he's come out of Jesse and is this beast that's been marauding around that individual garden.
You're saying we need to see him get the bus to the
but there isn't an event that happened. Like there isn't any, and you don't need lots of exposition, but there's nothing that Jesse has failed in that has let Freddy take him over. It just happened. And then it just is Freddy now.
Yeah. I can't really remember how this all ends. I think she kisses him and
she cops off with him, and that's it. Like because Freddy goes like, "Aha, I am the champion. Me, Freddy, I've won."
And he melts.
Yeah, and he goes, "Oh, well." He draws it out a bit because she goes, "No, you take Freddy's power away by not being scared of him. I think you're brilliant, Jesse. I bloody love you." And he goes, "Oh, don't say that."
She's like forcing a kiss on him instead.
Yeah, she basically takes advantage of a vulnerable person.
Can't go over that these days.
Freddy's like, he's going to die with me because we're both going to die. You can't get rid of me without killing Jesse. He's like, there's no Jesse now. He's dead. It's just me, your old mate Freddy. I'm number one. And then she gives him a snog, and the power of love, I guess, makes him burn up. And he thinks Jesse's gone, but then and I liked this effect too, like the crumpled, like charred remains of Freddy, and then
reminded me of Ghostbusters when they crawl out of the dog statues. After at the end. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a Kinder Surprise moment. Jesse was surprised this entire time.
He's the little teeny terrapin inside the Kinder Surprise there.
But I mean, his life's probably ruined. Everyone thinks he killed. I think everyone thinks he killed a load of people at the pool, maybe.
Yeah, but not really, because apparently the next day it's all good.
Oh yeah, but it's almost like it's got to be a dream, because how on earth would it get back to normal that quickly? So I assume it's all over then. We're back on the bus. Hang on a minute, is this bus going fast again?
Oh, this really does like the really, really authoritarian driver, stop.
Yeah.
Driver, you're going at least 4 miles an hour over the limit. Can you please slow down?
Did he not just press the button? There's like a corner underneath it. Yeah. But I mean, and then it's like, oh no, it's okay. Things are going to be okay. And then at the end, I think it does drive off the road towards the hell desert.
Yeah. So you see a driver. It's just a normal guy, and he's just like going, "What's wrong with you?" I was just putting my foot down a bit. We all got places to be. And literally, there's Lisa's friend is like leaning over, going, "Oh, come on, it's all over now. We're all fine." And then suddenly a big clawed
Freddy hand comes out of her chest. Because that's Freddy.
He goes into the hell desert, and Jess is like, "This must be a new route, I guess."
He goes, I like it. I liked it here last time.
Look, I love the way the bus bounces so hard when he goes on that hell desert.
It off the road.
They've all got terrible whiplash. Like the true
I think
horror
they're all
of this
bouncing
film.
and banging their heads on the ceiling of the bus.
Oh, smashed me across.
It's the party bus. Yeah,
the true horror.
Freddy Wax on the Venga Bus soundtrack.
Yeah.
The true horror of this is everybody's chiropractor bills at the end.
Yeah,
just spines getting crushed to dust.
Real life horrors. The only thing that gets me about these movies, and I got a lot of love for these like horror franchises, horror sequels. The thing I guess that does bother me sometimes is with these sting endings and so on, which is basically you can beat the baddie and then they just decide that they're not going to lose. It's like, you did the thing, you defeated me with the weakness that's been established that I have. I've decided actually that I'm going to win anyway, just in the last scene.
Yeah. Was it Carrie that did this first? Like the the hand coming out of the grave. It's
got to be an early one at very least if it isn't the first.
Yeah, and I don't know, you call it like the sting right before the credits. Yeah, and then Friday the 13th has it with Jason jumping out of the water, and
that's a great one.
Yeah. It'd be cool to do a little list of really good ending stings.
In this one, it's just that, like, yeah, you did the thing and it was established that I came out of Freddy and I'm good again. But then I guess he's here again anyway, so he's won.
Yeah. Every bus that Jesse gets on from now on will veer off onto the Hell Desert. Never again will he take
I got to go to a job interview. Hell Desert first.
Hang on. Why is he taking the bus at all? As it's established in the movie, he can drive. He drives to school.
That is true. Well, some questions just don't get answered.
It's all the bus scenes are dreams. They gotta be.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I've sometimes had dreams that I've still worked in jobs that I've not worked in for over a decade.
And it's all come so naturally. I even remember the till login.
Yeah. It's not long ago now, like, less than a year ago, dreamt that I still worked at Game. And then I woke up in the morning thinking, oh God, I should really quit that job. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I should really leave that job because I've got an entire full-time career now. I should probably quit my Saturday job.
Do you have that thing where you dream that you got up, where you get up, you brush your teeth, get ready for work. Sometimes you even go to work and it's like not a good day or it's a good day at work. And then you wake up and you go, oh shit. I've got to actually do all that.
Definitely as a kid. And I know there's nothing worse than hearing about other people's dreams. As it's Freddy, I feel it's on topic. Like, I've had dreams where I've had entire days at school as like a teenager, and it's been a fairly tedious and detailed full day at school, at least in my head. Then you go, wake up and actually do it.
The worst than Freddy dreams are dreams where you've won the lottery or something, and then you wake up and then you just haven't won the lottery, and that's the reality.
Or just something great happens, and then you go,
yeah. All right, I've got some name game if you're up for it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I've not got a huge amount, so make the most of the ones I have got. The first one is about a film about a caged fighting bear that escapes and seeks revenge. Also, it's a cuddly bear, one that a child might take to bed.
Is it the Night Bear?
Teddy's Revenge?
You're both very, very close. There's like, it's a fighting bear though.
Oh, Fight Bear on Elm Street, Teddy's Revenge.
Fight Bear on Elm Street 2, Teddy's Revenge. Yeah. Okay, this next one is about a group of lads who are having a swearing competition in the middle of a street, but none of them know any good swear words.
A shite swear on Elm Street.
But they're not very good. They're quite not overwhelming.
Shite swear on...
You're very, very close.
That's all I got. That's all I got. A shite swear on Elm Street 2.
They're not. The swears aren't overwhelming. They're not even whelming.
Underwhelming.
Shite swear underwhelm Street.
It's true.
Is there a Freddy's Revenge bit, or is that just?
No, I couldn't think of one.
Just one person called Freddy lost last time, but now he's back.
The last one I've got here is about a popular kids cuddly character. I'm just going to say his name because you'll never... No, wait, maybe he's a kind of Muppet kind of guy. Popular Muppet kids character has dropped his pajamas.
Elmo?
Yeah, okay, that's one.
No, that's not a Muppet. That's not a Muppet.
Elmo
I don't know, but he's the
Jim Henson's Creature Workshop.
Yeah, what's wrong with me? He's a Sesame Street.
Nightwear Nightwear on Elmo Street.
Well, he dropped his pajamas on his.
Oh wait, it is Elmo. Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
confused.
Nightmare. That's a Nightwear.
A Nightwear on Elmo Street. He dropped his pajamas.
Yeah.
A
Nightwear on Elmo's feet.
A Nightwear on Elmo's feet. There's no Freddy's Revenge there either.
I
mean, maybe just say Teddy's Revenge again because he's kind of teddy bear.
They're all Teddy's Revenge, yeah, Elmo.
Yeah.
Is he a Muppet or is he a Sesame Street? Are they all like of the same ilk?
I mean, what's the difference really? Like they've all got hands stuck up their bums.
They're very least cousins.
They all got hands up their asses, right? They're all the same to me.
They come from the same part.
Cut from the same cloth.
Maybe in some cases, I imagine, yeah.
Got to reuse the cloth.
Got to reuse the cloth. Yeah, it's like the difference between butterflies and moths. They're the same thing, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. No.
One's evil, one's good.
One's evil and just absolutely loves light. Can't get enough of it. Give me that bit of that light.
And then butterflies.
Butterflies, yeah.
Made of leaves or something. So we need to rate the film. I don't know what I'm gonna. No, I've got an idea. What are you gonna go with?
I just had a moment then where I completely came out of the podcast and imagined you on your own hosting the podcast, going, "I don't know what I'm gonna rate it." Oh, I have got an idea actually. Solo podcast. We should do that one week.
This feels like it's.
Someone do the podcast solo.
And just do it.
I felt a bit weird then as I was talking. My head went a bit lightheaded.
Oh, you got a Freddy in there. Open your mouth and we'll check. See if we're
gonna. Yeah.
Right, you're going to the methadone clinic first thing in the morning.
What are you on? Freddy Krueger. It's this new cereal.
Freddy Krueger.
Hey Ben, you're talking about your Jaws cereal. You should get a Freddy Krueger. Come on.
I want Fu Manchus, please.
They stopped doing that
if
in the 2020s.
If anyone sees you with a box of Fu Manchus, you'll disappear like Marty McFly's family. You'll be cancelled so hard.
Posing with them on the gram with the fingers on. Classic.
I wonder what they look grey. What kind of cereal are they?
Grey slop.
Feels like they're just like
it's just
maybe it's like a
dust particles.
Yeah, like a blackcurrant Chewits.
It looks like the bits of moth that come off when you touch them. Just gathered up bits of dust.
Moth dust.
Fu Manchus. They look chewy though, do they?
No, that's why I think they'd be like a lots of raisin.
Yeah, just
like
box of raisins.
Like a Weetabix minis, maybe.
When you said about the bits, silently eating flumps, but even that's too loud.
I feel like eating Fu Manchu would be quite noisy.
Yeah,
quite tacky.
All the racism,
claggy.
Yeah, it really sticks in your teeth.
Yeah.
Right, what are we giving this film then?
Go on, Ben. You go first.
But you know what? I quite liked it. I had a lot going for it. I know the rules of the Freddy are all over the place, and I found the final act, or at least from the pool party onwards, to be pretty underwhelming and basic. It kind of resolved itself without really trying, so that was a bit disappointing. But apart from that, classic visuals are all pretty cool, and it was a fun sort of slasher movie as well. Sure, there were moments where you were laughing out loud at the ridiculous nature of it, but I think that's kind of what you come to expect from A Nightmare on Elm Street. And very interesting characters, nuanced characters where they weren't sort of cookie cutter versions of teenagers. They all had something going on. I felt like it represented the demographic a lot better. I'll go for a B-.
Nice. B-.
I had a pretty good time.
Yeah. Andy, how are you?
Yeah, like most things that Ben said, it is a weird one franchise-wise because the rules of Freddy don't necessarily work, and it doesn't have that kind of care of the hand that you would get from the franchise when it's looked after by some of the other creators. Certainly doesn't hold up much to number 3, as we're going to get to next time we come round to the Freddy well, I imagine.
That sort of stuck to me as my favourite.
Yeah,
number 3.
It's a great one. And you know, that really leans into the dream. Very few dreams here, and there are some corners cut with the production that are odd choices, commenting on what is or isn't the subtext on this one. It's definitely beyond my qualifications to do so. So treated as just an odd, quite fun film. I will always go back to this one and watch it because it's got some fun moments to it. And to be honest, I'm going to join Ben on a B- for that musical scene alone.
Shut in a drawer of your ass.
Yeah. Oh, Luke, you might be muted. I can't hear you.
Luke's opinion on how to rate Nightmare on Elm Street 2 is so hard hitting.
Oh, I think you're back. You were back very briefly.
It's so hard hitting that he's been muted.
Maybe Freddy's getting him.
Maybe Freddy's getting.
Oh, he's back. He's back. I can hear you again.
That was weird. Freddy got into my computer. I feel like you guys have rated this maybe a bit too high as a B-. just to be honest. I mean, the dance scene is pretty good.
Never pass judgment on anyone else's rating.
I'd have been a C plus. I'd have been a C plus, Luke, if it had not been for that dance scene.
See, I like the dance scene, but it was a C plus for me. Film. I think it's good. I just like my Freddy to be in dreams, and if he ever steps out of a dream, it kind of, I don't know. I just didn't find it scary. I like the practical effects. I thought that stuff was really cool. It just didn't seem as violent either. Like when I think of Freddy, when he kills people, like blood goes like spurts across the room. He drags people up onto the ceiling. Like it's like insane that some of the stuff that Freddy does. So this one feels a bit light on that kind of stuff for me. So I'll save my B- and above for Dream Warriors and New Nightmare and whatever else we're going to come to. But New Nightmare, I'm not actually a massive fan of that one.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. But you know, at least we have a new way that, like, I know I'm putting away my laundry next time I've got some to put away.
For Patreon extra, should we recreate this scene? All three of us in the same room doing the exact same
thing. We'll all get together.
Wow.
Right, get on eBay, order pop gun.
Already got one.
Yeah.
No. Find Meryl Streep lookalike for the.
I'll get some big glasses. We'll record a music video for it. I think the drawers in my bedroom I could close with my bum if I just.
Okay. Well, you can be Jesse. I'll be Jesse's mum, and Ben can be Lisa.
I'll be Lisa. I'll be whoever you want me to be. All right. I'll be whoever you want me to be. I'll be the teacher in his leather vest thing.
You could be, what's his name?
I'll be that guy.
I'll be the right cheek.
And if you want to whip my ass to ribbons, then so be it.
Anyway,
on that note.
So next week we will be doing Beetlejuice. No, that's the week after, right?
Is it Halloween next week? My
Halloween
goodness.
Kills.
Halloween Kills.
Nice. Okay, looking forward to that.
A newbie. How exciting.
And,
straight from Freddy to Michael Myers. I mean, that's quite
get a Jason in at some point, then I guess we've done the trifecta. But on the point that Ben just made, if you do want to whip his ass to ribbons, it's not currently a tier on our newly launched Patreon, but it could be, Ben. You have all the details.
If there's the need for it, then I'll build it. They will come. Well, maybe they won't. Who knows? There we go.
Depends how well you film the ass whipping, I suppose. But yeah, if you like what we do here, then you can help us keep the lights on, get yourself some cheeky bonus content.
Yeah, so we literally just released a Patreon. We obviously premiered the details of it last week on the live episode. So yeah, it's at patreon.com/horror hangout. We got a few different tiers there. You can pledge for as little as $1/£1 a month, and there are other tiers to get access to various bonus content. of which we've already got one reaction to the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City trailer, and I think we're going to do one for the Scream trailer once that drops, or has dropped now. So very exciting. More juicy horror content for your
Merch
ears
available
and
and
eyes.
Yeah.
Merchandise as well for the highest tier at the moment. So go and check it out. Have a little ganders.
Speaking of patrons, we have 4 new patrons: Ben Scaife, Stephen Christopher, Toby Miller, and Laura Kendrick. Thanks very much for your support.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to Kovac Carmen for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Please consider rating and reviewing in iTunes or wherever you want to review a podcast. And thanks to my co-hosts for being right hard dudes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Andy. Thanks, Fruity Freddy.
Yeah, cheers, Fruity Freddy. And
Freddy Krueger.
We'll see you next week. Mike Myers, welcome back, mate.
Mickey Myers.
Go. Bye.
See you later.
See you later. Bye.